it's over. Do you need anything like I need you?
every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue when every bruise looks good on you. You found out that nobody is perfect, and you doubt that anything is worth it. Look around, the world is a circus. You're on blue. So provoking, I forgot to mention. Are you joking? I need some attention, and nothing's working, so change your direction. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue when every bruise looks good on you? Tell me who knows you're on blue when every bruise looks good on you. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you're confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it. I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great. So why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Starting to enjoy the view. I'm all about the attitude. Who knows you're on blue when every bruise looks good on you? Tell me who knows you're on blue when every bruise looks good on you. Hey, I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. Hey, I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. understand. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. What's up, guys? You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. Yo! You're radiant. You're radiant. Yeah. Let's go. Radiant, yeah, yeah. Oh. How we doing tonight? Yeah. Whoa. I can't pretend. No. I hope this never ends. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Let's go. Oh, yeah. All right. There we are. How we doing, guys? Dude, Chuck Norris. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I know there've been like discussions, whatever, about him and his politics and shit. Dude, I never really liked Chuck Norris. My dad was like a huge fan of his. My dad loved Chuck Norris movies. He loved all those kind of like macho men movies. Dude, they were never really so much my cup of tea, you know? You know, he always seemed a little like too reserved, you know, for my taste, right? But I guess he was pretty talented, though. You know, he was pretty talented. See, Rambo, I liked. You know, I don't know. I felt a connection to Rambo, right? I did. I felt a connection to Rambo because he was like fighting for something. He was fighting to like shake off the war, and he was, you know, like a hero. Chuck Norris was always like, I don't know, just some quiet dude who's gonna like beat people's asses and shit. Right? Yeah, First Blood was good. It really was good. Dude, No Kings happening next week. Let's go. Dude, yeah. No, Rambo, he was like, dude, he was just, had gotten out of the war. He was just trying to go about his business. He was hassled by a fucking shitty ass cop, right? Rambo, like I felt like there was some tie-in, right? Dude, the Bronson, yeah, no, I remember my dad used to watch all the Death Wish movies. Like, oh my God, dude. See, I don't remember any of the fucking Chuck Norris movies. But so my dad was like all of those movies. Okay. He used to watch all the Chuck Norris movies, all the Bronson, like Death Wish movies. He was a big fan of Walking Tall. Remember the Walking Tall movies and a TV show? Dude, Walker, Texas Ranger. That's what it was. It was Walker, Texas Ranger. Was that Chuck Norris's show?
That was Chuck's show, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah, dude, my dad watched that show religiously, dude. Oh shit, dude. Walker, Texas Ranger. And I mean, dude, my dad was all of that shit, right? All of it. And he would watch all the TV shows too, like Simon and Simon and Cagney and Lacey and fucking like all of it, right? Heart to Heart or whatever. And dude, Rockford Files, yes, he was big on that. You know, Vegas, Dan Tana, fucking, you know, Magnum PI, all of that shit. He watched John Wayne and stuff too. Dude, Cagney and Lacey was good. There were a couple that were good, right? I liked Rockford Files. I liked Cagney and Lacey. I liked Simon and Simon. I thought that was actually a really good show too, right? Beretta. Yeah, no, Beretta, Robert Blake. All of that, dude. All of that crime shit. All right. So, let me just tell you, all right, that, dude, I'm a little tired. 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗏 has been posting late about serious developments. I mean, guys, you know, there's some shit going down in the Middle East, man. You know, it is, bro, it's a lot. I mean, there was a pretty big attack today. I think there were some pretty big attacks on all fronts. Excuse me. There are some pretty big attacks like happening on all fronts that we'll look at. I mean, today was just a crazy fucking day, guys. Okay, just in general. All right. I mean, so it started, dude, I just thought this shit was wild, bro. Why is that? What's going on with this? Oh, that's weird. That's weird. My fucking thing is not. Oh, crazy, dude. Hold on. There we go. Oh, dude, my window was weird. It wasn't like when I pulled the window, it wasn't giving me the arrows. Okay. So dude, just a lot of mayhem today. Dude, why are we in war again? It's a good question. I mean, dude, as America, like, when are we not in war? So the thing about the Trump, that Trump and Robert Mueller was pretty interesting, wasn't it? Because here's why, okay? Now, again, me personally, I don't really have an issue with people, like, you know, how they respond to people's passing. I don't have an issue about that. I honestly don't care. I feel like people are allowed to react how they're going to react. And I'm not going to police somebody's reaction to that type of stuff. Now, what I thought, though, was interesting was how Trump, like, Trump reacted, obviously, to Robert Mueller's death. Okay, let's go ahead and watch. Let's go ahead and look at it. Okay, let's just start there, right? Because today Mueller died. Okay, now what's wild about this, okay, is that, okay, I mean, let's just start, you know, with, there's Trump's response. Okay, it said, Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead, is what Trump said. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. Now, here's what's wild about this, guys, is obviously for a number of reasons. For one, for a president to do this is pretty tacky. Okay. You know, I'm not going to lie. Again, I don't care that he did it. Whatever. People are allowed to react how they react. I certainly am not going to police my reaction when Donald Trump moves on to the pine box land. But it is pretty bad taste for a president to set that kind of example. Okay? It does. If I was president of the United States, I would probably bury some of that, like, sentiment. You know, if I was president, I would feel like it was my job to be a bigger man. I would, right? I'm not going to lie. Now, what I thought was really interesting, like, about this, though, guys, was in the face of Charlie Kirk. Okay, because do you remember how the right wing was with Charlie Kirk? How they were like so upset about Charlie Kirk. They were so upset that, like, if you reacted the wrong way, and I mean, you didn't even have to be celebrating with Charlie Kirk. You could simply just make a statement about who he was or how he was when he was alive. And they were going to try and get you fired, right? It was like they had a database. They were going to have websites. They were doxing people. Like, they were freakish about it. Remember? I mean, I remember they were livid. They're like, anybody who says anything remotely negative, we are going to get rid of them. We're going to get them fired. We're going to rain down upon you. And seeing those same people, like, not really caring about Trump's response was telling, to say the least, that, of course, they're allowed to behave differently than they expect everybody else to behave. Now, one of the things, though, that I thought was really interesting is in the Charlie Kirk scenario, Charlie Kirk had a national profile of, like, going after certain groups of people, you know, racially or for their sexual preferences. He was very well known at, like, you know, ganging up on people, his professors list, etc. So there was in when Charlie Kirk passed, there were certain groups of Americans that had been targeted by him and his fans that may have felt a certain way with his passing. So I guess I understood some people's, whatever, like, difficult feelings. What I think is bizarre about Trump, though, is that this is personal. Okay. Trump's reaction to Robert Mueller was only because Robert Mueller, like, investigated the Trump-Russia stuff. This, hurt innocent people. What is he even talking about? Dude, Mueller was a great public servant for years and years and years. All right. But Trump was personally mad at him for his investigation into the Russian meddling in 2016. And what's more, dude, Trump was guilty of that. There was Russian meddling. They found obstruction of justice. They found potential collusion. They couldn't necessarily put hard. It was all circumstantial with the collusion. But, like, bro, Trump keeps talking about the Russia hoax. That shit was not a hoax. Okay. We know that they meddled, and we know that, with all those meetings in Trump Tower and shit, we know. Okay. We know it's definitely not a hoax. So yeah, I thought this was really interesting, to say the least. Dude, yeah, Trump is petty. He is petty. You're not seeing a dance party tonight? No, there's going to be a dance party. Let's go, Alf. Dude, let's go. We had somebody in the beginning, too, that S. Larson said, hey, boss, guess who's not surprised about the Duggar arrests? Far-right evangelical fundamentalists, extremist cultists are all alike. They vote for him because he is them. Dude, that shit is crazy. Thank you, S. Larson. That shit is amazing, boss. We appreciate you. That one from the very beginning. Dude, there's definitely going to be a dance party. I normally don't start it right at the beginning because it takes a while for people to like get into stream and get acclimated and shit. But yeah, we'll talk about the Duggar stuff. Dude, the Duggar family, like I'm like way out of the loop with that. I am. Dude, I never watched reality TV, so I was like so far out of the loop with that family, but they are they MAGA by any chance? They seem like they're MAGA. They really do. I hate to say it, but they seem kind of MAGA. But yeah, man, so this is pretty wild. Again, I'm not surprised that Trump reacted this way. I don't really care. He's allowed to react this way. However, I think it's interesting that he's only reacting this way because of his personal vendetta and that most of his followers don't give a shit. Trump gets different rules than they hold everyone else to, which I think is wrong, guys. I think our leaders should be held to a higher standard. That's me. That's how I look at it. I think leaders should be held to a higher standard. Okay? You know, I just do. I do. Oh. But yeah, it's pretty crazy though. Isn't that wild that the president said that? And he died of Parkinson's too, which is pretty crazy. I mean, we're watching the show Shrinking, which is, you know, Harrison Ford plays a character with Parkinson's. It's pretty interesting show for sure. Right. But yeah, I will say this though. I will say that, you know, YouTube and other social media sites are cracking down on people who get celebratory at people's passing. And I know it's going to get very complicated when Donald Trump passes, because I think there's going to be some worldwide reaction to Donald Trump passing that is, you know, is not going to be sadness. Okay. Like it's not going to be, there's not going to be a lot of sadness. Dude, Shrinking is a great show. It really is. It's so good. It's like so good. Like so, I mean, it's crazy. It's so funny and so like, you know, emotionally relevant. It's really, really fucking powerful shit. But it is interesting, guys, with the Trump thing to see how, you know, I'm curious how some of these people reacted. I would imagine that most of them just didn't react to Trump, right? Like, yeah, like you see how libs of TikTok, they didn't even post anything. Like they didn't repost Trump. They just ignored it. This is what a lot of these accounts did with Trump and Robert Mueller, is they just didn't reply. They weren't going to say anything to him like, oh, you shouldn't do that. FTT, dance, please. All right, dude, got you, boss. Let's go. There you go. Let's go, dude. Thank you, Peter. Most of them, they just didn't reply. Okay. Dude, that's Benny Johnson's dad. Oh my God, bro. Now, dude, you see Benny Johnson's dad? Oh shit. Now we see where he got the closeted, right? Oh shit, boss.
Hey!
Dude, isn't it? It's like Scott Jennings, bro. Oh my God. Jesus, dude. But yeah, so you see like a lot of these accounts, they just didn't tweet it. Okay? They didn't tweet it, guys. All they did was, you know, he announced that he was dead, but he didn't post Trump's reaction to it. And I saw that most of these guys, they dodged it, okay? Which is crazy, okay? Because, you know, I think it's crazy because I don't know why they're not holding Trump to the same standard they held everyone who, you know, on with Charlie Kirk, right? Isn't that really interesting? That, I mean, I guess it's not interesting. It's pretty, you know, normal and understandable that they're not going to, right? They're not going to like say anything, okay? They're going to let him do his thing and they won't say a negative word about it. Yep. Not a reaction. Not a reaction. None of these accounts, dude. Dude, isn't it funny how they all block me? All of these guys, they're all soft. They are. Yep. I don't think any of these guys responded to it. They just sort of let that one go. Pretty crazy, huh? I mean, you know what's wild about it though? Let me just say this. Here's what's wild about it is, you know, they wanted to celebrate it. Okay? You know they wanted to. Okay? They wanted to celebrate it, but they weren't going to though, because they had to try and remain above, you know, the left wingers or whatever that they think said shit about, you know, about Charlie Kirk. Now, the one exception was Asmongold. Okay, Asmongold laid into this. Okay, he did. He was like, right? Oh wait, he did comment. Let me see here. So Gunther, oh look at this. He said, "No need to shed tears for a man that played a very important role in the largest conspiracy against America. The left will melt down, but we are far past niceties." Oh, interesting. Interesting. So Gunther Eagleman like engaged in it, even though, dude, so who is Gunther? Gunther's not a real person. I mean, there's a guy named David, okay? This guy is a former police officer from Fort Worth, Texas, and he was a cop for a couple of years, and then he like left the force early and became a, you know, an online Twitter person, okay? But his name is not Gunther nor Eagleman. His name is David Morris, I think. David Freeman. Okay, here he is. He's this guy. This is him right here. Right? That's him. His name is David Freeman. He's a former police officer. Right? But dude, he's a weirdo, guys. But right there he is with the banana. Okay? Here he is in, you know.
Hey everyone, it's Joel.
There he is. There he is. He's another guy that I think has a fairly like extensive closet, if you know what I mean. He has a walk-in closet. Dude, he looks like a deviant. He does. He does. I mean, dude, that's the price of admission for MAGA, right? But right there he is. All right. Yeah, dude, he's a weird one, boss. He is. Dude, yeah, but he was a police officer. Okay. Right? He was a cop in Harker Heights. Right? And what's wild about him is if you mention his real name at all, if you mention his name or his past, career as a police officer, he will snap. Dude, he doesn't take too kindly to it. All right. And it is my understanding though that he was let go. Okay. Right? He was like, I think he was removed from the force, right? The force will not be with you. But so yeah, that's interesting. He did celebrate it. I'm curious though, you ready? Here's what I'm curious about. I'm curious what his take was on Charlie Kirk. If he was getting people fired. Right? Oh, look at this. Anyone mocking Charlie Kirk's death is evil, he says. And he So yeah, he was not into any negativity about Charlie. Dude, sending love from Brooklyn. Let's go, Felicia. Let's go. Thank you. Sending love from Brooklyn, Tommy. LFG, thank you, Felicia. We appreciate you. Dude, let's set that dance party goal. I know guys have mentioned it. Let's get that going. I'm bad. Sorry, I'm a little low energy tonight, guys. I'm so tired, right? I'm so tired. So, dude, the thing about this, Graythome, is you're allowed to have your reaction and stuff, but I do have to remove those comments from the chat because YouTube is pretty spicy about how they deal with those types of things. So we do have to, right? We do have to, sort of moderate that shit. Okay. But look at this though. Look at this here. You ready? So let's look at fucking Gunther Eagleman here, aka David Freeman. LFG Pine Box Dance Party, right? Because I think, guys, this is interesting. This right here, we're about to get an insight into the MAGA mind. All right, because look at Gunther Eagleman. Says VP JD Vance on consequences for those celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, right? Justice exists for people who repent and for those who don't. I hope the murderer accepts what he did was evil, but we've still got to have justice anyway. If you're celebrating Charlie's death, the First Amendment protects ugly speech, but it doesn't protect you from being fired for being a disgusting person. Okay, if you're a university professor or a taxpayer dollars celebrating this, you ready? If you're a university professor on taxpayer dollars celebrating this, you should lose your job or your school should lose funding. Civil society is rising up against that evil. The American people are holding them accountable. It's a great thing to see. No mercy for those reveling in political assassinations or death. Accountability now. But on Robert Mueller, he says, no need to shed tears for a man that played an important role in the largest conspiracy against America. The left will melt down, but we are far past niceties. So he's cool with it when it's celebrating the death of somebody that is, a left wing who he says is part of a conspiracy against America. Isn't that wild? Oh shit, dude. Pine Box Party, let's go, mother of chickens, let's go. Dude, there's gonna be a party one day. Dude, Shin Godzilla, let's go. And yeah, some people who've gotten fired and shit have actually sued and gotten some significant settlements Because guys, you know, here's the thing. I think is totally tasteless, you know, responding the way Trump did here, or responding the way some people did with the whole Charlie Kirk situation. But like, guys, you're allowed. I believe that people are allowed to react to, you know, celebrity passings however they see fit. That doesn't mean it's not tasteless, and some of those responses are tasteless, but to think that somebody should be fired for the things they say after, you know, somebody gets murdered or somebody dies, that just seems weird to me, guys. That just seems weird to me. It really does. I don't feel like that. To me, that seemed like a crazy overreaction. And especially, you know, when you look at some of these like super polarizing political figures, you know, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do when Trump passes? Like, my God, there's going to be reveling. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is. Whether you think it's right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, you know, I'm going to withhold my opinion on those matters, but I know for a fact that there will be an insane reaction to his passing that is probably going to be global. You know, goal initiated, red can, Peter S, still a punk. Let's go. Dude, thank you. Thank you, Linz. Appreciate you, boss. But again, I think the president should show better taste. That's what I think. Okay, but David J. Friedman has a different reaction. Okay, and I wonder if anyone called him out here. Yeah, no, they did call him out about Charlie Kirk. Right, and here we go. There were certainly people saying this, right, about, and why were you so upset about Charlie Kirk? You were outraged, fired, and jailed, but the president, he can be petty and no consequences. I mean, pretty wild, huh? Isn't it? I mean, because according to MAGA, Trump should be fired, right? He's got a taxpayer-funded job. I mean, if they want a university professor fired, they certainly should want the president to step down after that, right? Your kids have no idea. Yeah, no, I know, Nameless. I mean, guys, can I just tell you, like, this is one of the things that has haunted me. And it doesn't really haunt me personally because my son is 20. He's about to be 21 in a couple months. In fact, you know, a little over a month, my son will be 21, which is amazing. But so my kid's raised, okay? But what I don't understand, guys, about America is if you have a young person, okay? If you have a young man, if you're raising a son, how do you like process this? What do you tell your son about like being president? You know what I mean? Like, because you can't really tell your kid like, hey, you know, you got to work hard and you got to be a good person. You got to make good decisions in order to be successful. It's like, no, you don't. You can be rotten to the core with felonies, and you can be an adjudicated rapist and the best friend of the biggest sex trafficker on the planet. And you get to have the top most important job. And everybody bows down before you, right? I mean, how do you explain that? I mean, sure, you can explain to what not to do, you know, but to explain that we live in a system where somebody like Donald Trump is wildly successful. And guys, it's not just Donald Trump. It is capitalism. I mean, if you want to talk Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, right? Logan Paul, I mean, Jake Paul, Aiden Ross, Andrew Tate, these are like petulant man boys that bring nothing of value to the table. but insecurity wrapped up in a phony attitude that makes it seem like they're tough when all they do is exude weakness, and they lie, they cheat, they steal, they grape, they abuse, sometimes openly abuse women, and they get rewarded like over and over and over again with riches and power and fame. And so obviously, if your system elevates those types of people over and over and over again, the system sucks. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The system sucks. Obviously, capitalism is a dog shit system if it elevates people like that. It's like, it's not a good system. Dude, we're gonna look at Logan Paul in a little bit too. He was being a man baby today as well. But so I saw this though, because I've been seeing a lot of these guys on the timeline. Okay, I've been seeing, you know, like that clavicular kid. Okay, the guy who like uses like a meat tenderizer on his face and takes steroids and shit. What an idiot. He told a woman to slap him, and after she did, he like had her arrested. And it's like, what a fucking clown. Dude, Logan Paul today was trying to start a fight with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's in his 50s, guys. He was trying to start a fight with Gronk. And then when Le'Veon Bell was like, dude, I'll box you. And Logan's like, oh, I can't take off WWE. Dude, these manosphere guys are all like, they're all wimpy. They are. They're bullies, but they're like chicken shit. They're like turd bullies. You know what I'm saying? They are. They're bullies when they can get away with it. But when push comes to shove, they're actually like turd bullies. They are. They're crybabies. They're crybabies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it is, I'm telling you right now, guys, this is like the number one, I think, for me, it's the number one problem I have with the reality TV scenario. Dude, Elf, Gunther is a douche. He is a douche. But this is one of the things, guys, that sort of like makes me feel sad for society in the wake of reality TV. Okay? Because prior to reality TV, in scripted television, you create conflict, you create drama, but you do it because there's a message, okay? If you look at all those shows, even the comedies and stuff, okay? You look at shows like Modern Family, you look at shows like Big Bang Theory, you can even look at Married with Children, goofy shit like that. Or you can look at dramas or, you know, movies like, American Beauty. You can look at like Fight Club. There's a lot of drama created, but all of those scripted shows, there's a message, okay? There was a message. There was conflict created to spell out a message, to, you know, examine some of life's, you know, foibles. You know, there's a parable. There's some type of like learning experience in it. It was message based. You know, there was some type of, you know, learning or messaging, or you were supposed to arrive at some evolving of your humanity, right? You were. That's the whole point. And this goes all the way back to Shakespeare, okay? It's whether it's the Bible in Proverbs, or, you know, the stories of conflict in the Bible, or you have a book, or you have a TV show, or you have the theater, whatever. The history of scripted fiction, right, was about creating drama for the sake of telling a story, for the sake of a character arc, like somebody evolving, right, or devolving, but there was a lesson in it. And then reality TV came along. And in reality TV, there's no message, guys. Okay? There's not a message. It is simply who can set off the biggest blast. That's what reality TV is. Reality TV is I'm going to go out and I'm just going to chew that person out just because the act of me chewing them out will have everybody going, whoa, right? There's no message, okay? It is simply who can generate the biggest drama, okay? You go and generate drama. And when you look at reality TV shows, they're facile, they're empty, they're hollow, okay? There's no, like, at the end of it, you haven't arrived to be a better person, or you haven't arrived with a better understanding of your humanity. All you've done is you're smirking because you know you set off a bomb and you like created a whole bunch of chaos. And that's it. You know, the bigger the chaos, the more the payoff and the more everyone wants to see you do it again. So it is like living vicariously through people who dump their negative emotions into, you know, chaotic entanglements and they set off bombs. But there's no, you don't arrive anywhere, okay? The goal of reality TV is not to arrive. It is simply to instigate and try to make the biggest impact, the biggest explosion. Elf says, funny, we're all just trying to figure everything. That's true, you know? And so that, to me, I feel like society, we've started devolving a little bit. Okay, we've started devolving a little bit because it's made reaction seeking be like a legitimate path to fame, to money, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I remember Jersey Shore. I never watched it. I heard like the phrase Jersey Shore, and I know it was a reality TV show. There was also like the Kardashians and shit. Did I not uppercut you? There you go, Nick. Did I miss yours too? Oh, I think I did. Cry bullies. Let's go. There you go. Let's go, dude. And also Tommy X Afroman 2028. I don't know, Ella, maybe. Let's go. Thank you, boss. Thanks for the reminder. But yeah, I feel like society devolved as a result of reality TV because we no longer came with a message. We no longer, and guys, let me just tell you too, when you don't have a message, okay? If you don't have a message, if you don't have a through line, if you don't have an intention, right? You're unmoored, okay? You're unmoored, you're adrift. And at that point, you're just reactionary, you know? And Donald Trump is a great example of this. Because Donald Trump never has an end game. He literally just reacts. He reacts to a person, and then he reacts to that person's reaction, and then he reacts to other people's reactions. And then by the end of it, he may be on the opposite side, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, he can literally start out reacting at one thing, and then by the end of his reactions, he is now reacting against the very same behavior he's been engaging in the whole time. Or now he's on a different side than he was in the beginning. Because reality TV is unmoored. It is untethered. It is not, you know, it has no purpose. It has no point. It has no end game. There's no goal other than to detonate. And it's pretty sad too. Because now I've seen it even in the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years, 7 years of me being an online content creator. I've seen it where, you know, 7 years ago, you would start a Twitch channel or you'd start a YouTube and it was really about you, you know, with a point of view and with a, you know, a way you were. You might have a type of humor, you might have a type of reaction, but you were like a real person and you were like sharing a little slice of your philosophy in your life. And now it's like kids are like, you know, what can we do that will just like get the police or the press involved, right? Can I run over someone with my car? Or can I break into a place? Or can I, you know, do some crazy shit to strangers? or right, or they'll stage something where now it doesn't even have to be real because a lot of the audience is like 8 years old, so they can fake the drama, and people will attach themselves to it anyway because the drama doesn't even need to be real anymore. It just needs to be like juicy, right? Never to be a king when he's too good at drama queen. Let's go, Linz. Thank you, boss. Dude, it's crazy. And so I have always said, you ready? I have always said that when the aliens come, okay, when Western civilization has fallen, and when, you know, Earth is just a smoldering pile of rubble, and the aliens come to Earth and they look at the planet and they're like, what went wrong? And how did this society that was so amazing and was like doing all this wondrous shit, how did this society crumble and destroy itself? And the aliens will look back at the events and they will mark the starting point of the end of civilization as reality TV did. They're going to be like, oh, that's it. That's when society shifted from saying something of value to simply causing chaos. And it was that introduction of chaos that then, you know, people stopped saying something of value and they only sought chaos. And then pretty soon, if you stop like assigning value to your intentions and you stop living with a sense of purpose, pretty soon, like, you know, purpose and messaging just disappears. And it becomes, you know, you start propagandizing, right? Or you start instigating, or you start triggering, right? It's like people stop valuing, you know, intention and message when, right? They stop valuing having something to say when they no longer do that. I think, you know, that's a real problem. I think people are no longer valuing a message anymore, really. They just want reaction, you know? And now we have people like 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀, right? Which again, you know, whatever. I mean, if she's 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀, she probably should have, you know, been an adult star or something, started an OnlyFans, right? That was her shtick. But no, it was just a random girl who's not like that at all, who was drunk and said something outrageous into a video recorder, okay? And then all of a sudden she became like more famous than famous overnight for no reason. She brought nothing. It wasn't even her. She wasn't even being real. And then what ended up happening? Oh, a crypto scam. And I saw her today, dude. Did you see her today? Oh my God, dude, she's trying to get back. She's trying to get back into it, right? Being famous isn't the goal. I think being famous is the goal now, right? And you know why though? You know why that fame and virality though, guys, is because it is a way that you can like get out of your social class, right? Even though technically you can, but in reality, most of the people that blow up in that virality world also come from the upper social class. Trump is a twat waffle. All right, Peter, let's go. Dude, you're allowed to fucking think that. I mean, I think Trump is a clown, boss, right? Famous for being an asshole. Dude, that's where we went wrong. No, it is. It is. It is like, because now, guys, all we seek is virality, okay? Nobody cares about substance. Nobody cares about value. Nobody cares about longevity. They just want virality, okay? They literally just want virality. And, you know, somebody mentioned Asmongold. I know I was talking about him, but look at him, dude. Today, dude, he was going crazy, okay? Because look at this shit, okay? He reacts, right? You ready? Dude, look at Asmongold, okay? You ready? Watch this. Watch what his reaction to, let's find Asmongold's reaction to Mueller, okay? All right, here it is.
And why did I change my mind? It's because the Iranian people were on
Oh, wait,
Twitter.
no, that's the wrong one. Sorry, guys, my bad. Here it is.
Robert Mueller has died. Good, I'm glad he's dead. Wait, what?
See?
Oh my God, bro. He goes, Robert Mueller has died. Good. I'm glad he's dead.
Dude, what the fuck is going on with his fucking teeth, bro? Dude, does this guy not have a dental plan or what, man? You know what I mean? Like, dude, he is, but you see how he's reveling in this shit? But holy shnikes, okay? But now let me see what his follow-up is.
People, President Donald J. Glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. Brother, that is my president. That is...
Dude, he loves it. Dude, what is... Like, does this guy not have dental insurance? This guy has, like, millions of dollars, man. And he's... What the fuck, bro?
Is my president right there. That's what I've been waiting on. There's no way he actually said this, right? There's no way.
Dude, who... You know what I don't understand, guys? Is, like, who watches this? Like, honestly... You know, honestly, in all honesty, who the fuck watches this guy? Like that frightens me. But like, my God, if 15-year-olds are watching this guy, they are fucked, bro. They are so fucked. If you are watching Asmongold, if he is your go-to guy that you go to like learn about life and you go to like his lens on the world, you are fucked, man. You are fucked. There's like no saving them, dude. There's no way, dude. All right, we got to get serious. Ella, let's go dance. We got 4 minutes, guys. All right, let's go. We got 19 and 4. I got to become a carnival barker here for 4 minutes. Then we'll come back and talk about Asmongold. Dude, I have to process that, though, because holy shit. If you are watching Asmongold, like, you are cooked. I mean, you know, the only people, like, there are very few people that I think are that sort of like gnarly. Dude, my heart still hurts for Good and Pretty. I know it can be annoying, but please don't forget. Yeah, no, we're not going to forget. Thank you, Shelly. Let's go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And yeah, dude, we were talking about them yesterday, right? Because when Trump was like going off about how Iran hung 3 protesters, he's like, they murdered 3 protesters. And we're like, who's going to tell Mr. fucking shitty diaper over there? Dude, mother of chickens, LFG, let's go. Oh, all right, here we go, guys. 3.5 minutes, 17 and 3.5. Let's go. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. We're going to bring a little Paula White here for spiritual guidance. Thank you, Paula. 3 minutes, guys. This is it, baby. This is it. Dude, let's go. Kilo Charlie agrees with Shelly. Yes, no, I think we can never forget those guys. Dude, thank you, boss. We can never forget Alex and fucking Renee, dude. We gotta hold on to them. He should be a shower maxer. Dude, yeah, the Roach Motel, dude. The Asmongold Roach Motel is opening up in 2028, boss. Guy can build a dam like nobody's business. Dude, Lens. Oh, shit, that made me laugh. 2.5 minutes, guys. 14 in 2.5 minutes. Oh, shit, bro. Dude, there's no way. There's no way. You think we make it? Oh, shit, dude. My phone is playing fucking Hold Me Now by Thompson Twins. All right. It is fucking go time, baby. 2 minutes. You guys always bring it down to the wire, bro. That shit makes me, like, nervous, right? Dude, Breckos, let's go, baby. Dude, mother of chickens, let's go. We appreciate you, boss. 152, the dumbed down nucleus. I know, dude. Strike again, strike again, strike again. Thank you, Shelly. Let's go. All right, 12 left. 12 left, 140. Dude, we need a dance party. We need, the fucking, what is it? Something about rain. I'm waiting for the something of rain. Dude, DL Observer, let's go. Nameless Nick, let's go. Dude, don't worry about it, Angie. You're doing great. We're just glad you're here, dude. Ella, let's dance. Love you, Radiant Punks. Yes, indeed. We're coming in hot. 120. Time for a cool change. Let's go, Amy Hempel. Let's go, dude. Petrazi, bringing it home. Yes. Dude, Tommy, are you a better Fortnite player or political commentator? I mean, I think I'm a better political commentator. Like, I was good at Fortnite for my age, but, you can't really keep up with those, 14-year-olds on Fortnite. It is a young person's game for sure because of all the shit that's going on. Dude, dance party, let's go, MJ. Dude, Nameless Nick, let's go. 49 seconds, we're coming in hot. We are now 4 away, baby. 4 in 40. And I was never really that good at video games, to be honest with you. Like, I'm a personality. I didn't get famous playing Fortnite because I was good at the game. Some people get famous because they're good at the game. I got famous because I'm entertaining and, good at building community, right? And during the pandemic, I brought a type of positivity that helped a lot of young people cope with that chaos. Dude, Nameless Nick, let's go. Summoning PW, let's go. We need one more 10 seconds. And there it is. MJ brings it home. Dude, goal achieved. Dude, FDT. Yes, Cord. Let's go, Felicia. LFG. Fist bump you. Let's go, dude. Nameless Nick. Let's go. In particular, guys, that's what happened too, it was the pandemic, okay? And gaming is notoriously negative and notoriously attacky and has that male shit on each other energy that's real prevalent in gaming. Okay, let's dance. Katie Mullins, let's go. Right? And so during the pandemic, everybody was stressed, everybody was overwhelmed, and I came into that scene with a genuine love for Fortnite and a genuine love of building community, but not attacky. I was more build people up kind of person, and a dancer and a singer, and and I can get aggro and fucking tell the shitters off for sure. But also though, mostly I was about elevating and about having hope and shit. And that was just an energy that everybody needed. Elf, let's go. Dude, for Angie, let's go. Thank you, Valores. And FTT, let's go, Peter. So it was the right thing that was very different at the right time. Now, eventually though, eventually the sort of the distance between me and the gaming community eventually became obvious because, they realized how woke and leftist I was, and how, that there were figures like Andrew Tate and Aiden Ross that became very polarizing and shit. And, I wasn't going to not speak my truth, which created a lot of conflict. But I'll be honest though, guys, I'll be honest. I did not mind at all building a community during the pandemic. And I'm glad that I fucking went through that experience. And very proud of the shit we did. We had a really good community in its heyday. But I was really glad to get out of that community. I didn't like it. I didn't like that a lot of it was that empty drama, right? That's what you had to do. You had to keep doing outrageous shit. That's kind of what the gaming world is about. You have to start beef and do outrageous shit. And you have to continually create that kind of drama in order to expand, and I did not like that. It was so empty. And you also, to do it really good, you have to sort of sell this rich thing to the kids, right? It's the more you buy a BMW and then you fucking buy a house, and then you let everybody know that you could buy and sell them, and then everybody starts giving you more money. And I just didn't like that, like the displays of wealth with like the diamond necklaces and look at my fucking, you know, $10,000 watch and all that shit. Dude, I don't like that shit. I'm not into that. I think the you know, flaunting the wealth is really stupid, and you know, I don't like have that kind of relationship to money. You know what I mean? You know? You know what I mean? But whatevs. But it was, you know, it was a good experience. Dude, it was a good experience. I got your house on my wrist. Yeah. $200 sneakers. See, dude, I kind of understand the shoes. I do have some nice shoes, guys. You see? I like nice shoes. I do. I like nice shoes, and I'll even pay good money for, you know, well-made, you know, garments. I mean, I'm not gonna buy like $30 jeans. When I buy jeans, I spend like $200 on them because I like really nice. You know, I'd rather have one nice pair of really form-fitting, well-crafted jeans than a whole bunch of like crappy ones. But so I'm not against nice shit, but like what I'm against is I'm against like nice shit to try and like show people my social class. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like people will buy Gucci shit just because they gotta like have a Gucci label or whatever. But like, dude, I don't know, man. That shit is wild. Paid $40 for half a tank. Jesus. Yeah, dude, gas is gonna get crazy, guys. Right? That shit is gonna get nuts. Pair of work boots and thongs. All right. Let's go, dude. A Republican with all those shoes? Nah. There's only 3 pairs, dude. But they're nice. You know? There's a pair of like the fucking, what's his name? The guy from fucking, right? I can't even remember the guy's name now. Florsheim? No. I'm not buying Florsheim shoes. Dude, 𝗙𝗢𝗡 is ridiculous. Dude, that shit is pretty crazy. Right? Years of higher prices. I mean, we're going to be in the long game, dude. You know? So we should look at some of this. Let's finish the Asmongold take here. You ready? Here we go.
Rip Bozo, brother. I love it. I do. I love to see this, man. It's leftist attitude. I mean, again, the guy's a fucking piece of shit. He ran a fucking smear campaign against the president for years over bullshit.
Dude, yeah, but this is so not true, dude. Dude, Robert Mueller did not run a smear campaign. Like, there was serious Russian collusion. Many people were fucking pinged in that shit, dude.
And they knew it was bullshit. They knew it was bullshit. Nah, I would say, damn, bitch, rest in piss, you won't be missed. That's the way I see it, man. Like, I'm not about this, oh, wow, it's so sad that he died. Like, yeah, it is, but it's even worse that he used his position to try to push a political agenda. So, yeah, that's it, man. Trump just tried to say Trump was a Russian spy. He did.
Dude, what is this guy, bro? Like, oh my God, dude. Dude, it is just so hard to watch Asmongold. Like, I just can't understand why anybody watches this guy. Like, wow. And so that's how you know, right? Like for example, I don't think Asmongold is making people be like bad or mediocre or whatever. But I will say this, though. Asmongold is a sign that young people are fucked up, right? Not all of them, but certainly the ones that are watching Asmongold and idolizing him are damaged goods. You know what I'm saying? Dude, ass wipe gold. Dude, ass wipe gold. Ass wipe gold. Dude, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a sign that we have some really disconnected and you know, like malformed human beings on the planet. Dude, you know? I mean, it's like you already have people that are damaged and or like troubled enough to gravitate to this guy, and then he's going to feed them nothing but terrible information on top of it. It's sort of like, oh shit, you know? It's like, oh dude, I feel bad, right? And the thing that's crazy is Asmongold has enough money so he can opt out. And I mean, this is the same with a lot of these guys, right? You have Asmongold, you have Aiden Ross. They have enough money to where they can be degenerate losers and they're still going to like survive and be fine, because they'll always have people like lining up to like take their shit because they have so much money. People will want to put a hand in their pocket. But if you don't have millions and you're behaving like this, you're not going to have like a lot of people inviting you to the party, bro. You know, like that is crazy. And yeah, dude, Trump, let me just tell you, with the Mueller report, let's be very clear, guys. Okay, with the Mueller report, that they found obstruction. Okay, they found multiple instances of Trump interfering with the investigation. They found many other people engaging in obstruction, and they found a ton of circumstantial evidence of collusion. They just couldn't find a smoking gun that could prove the collusion. And on top of that, though, Mueller was like worried about the whole thing of like, you know, the concept of prosecuting a president. Or he felt very, I mean, if anything, I thought Mueller was a little too soft, okay? I thought Mueller was a little too, like, giving the benefit of the doubt, because he was concerned about not wanting to look like he was doing something improper. He was too concerned about appearances, when in actuality, I wish he had been a little more like Jack Smith, you know, a little more of a fucking hard ass. But my God, the Mueller report, like, was very damning for the Trump administration. And for this guy, this, like, whatever inbred weirdo here to be talking about how, you know, oh, bullshit. Oh, thank you, Asmon, for changing my diaper. Oh, we love you, inbred buddy. Dude, Trumpy is very happy.
Testimony was pathetic. Yeah, remember that? Everybody thought that this guy was gonna, you know, like fucking hold Trump accountable and do all this, and then it turned into being absolutely nothing, man. Bro, yeah, they started it. Yeah, exactly, bro. They shouldn't have done that. Love Trump at L Post? I disagree. I think that, honestly, this is the way you should treat your enemies. This is like never, I don't believe any of that love your enemies bullshit. I think crush your enemies completely and then laugh at them as they're crushed, bro. Like, I'm not about any of this, like, oh, well, you know, you've got to turn the other cheek. Bro, I ain't gonna turn the other cheek. I go as hard as I can.
Dude, this guy is such a wuss, though, bro. Like, he goes as hard as he can. Dude, this guy would back down from anyone. You know what I mean?
But hypocrisy? Who cares? Hypocrisy? I don't give a fuck about hypocrisy. Like, that's a Reddit argument, bro. Like,
dude, he doesn't even know how to spell hypocrisy. By the way, there's a Y in it there. Fucking, there's a couple Y's in it.
Sure, people like this, yeah, salt the earth. Exactly. You got to make these make the environment for these people as unpleasant and uncomfortable as possible. Remember what they did about Charlie Kirk? They had no problem doing that. They still run defense for it now.
See, you see that though, right there, guys. Do you see that? This, though, guys, this part is like the MAGA Central, right? And this is the same shit that Don Jr. says, right? Asmongold gives his whole spiel, and then he said, remember what they did with Charlie Kirk? So his take, and this is the MAGA take too, which is like, you did this, so I get to do this. But like, that's not the way it works, guys. Like you don't define your behavior based on other people's behavior. If somebody does something that you think is the wrong behavior, you don't go and just do a whole bunch of that and be like, ha, you know, look at what they did. Now right? Oh, you like sued me after our car accident, so now I'm going to go burn your house down. Because look what you did. You sued me. Now I get to go do some crazy shit. Dude, I know, but Asmon too, like he wouldn't do anything, bro. Right? You know what I'm saying? Dude, Asmongold, he's like so weak. He is. All these manosphere guys are super weak. They are. They are like super weak, dude. That is one thing that is like, you know, sort of uniformly noticeable. And it's kind of one of the things that sort of bothers me about, right? It's one of the things that really bothers me a little bit about this generation of men is like, I feel like I can't speak for every generation, but in my generation, we had a lot of men that were like fighting for shit. Okay. You know, there were men that were fighting, you know, we had people like Eddie Vedder that was trying to take on Ticketmaster with his band. Okay. We had people like Kurt Cobain that were trying to break down some of those gender and sexuality barriers. Okay. But they were like artists that had developed a craft, that were making, you know, some type of art that was connecting with human beings, that was about like feeling and being present and examining the world. And then they were trying to use their station to create some type of change that would help make the world a better place. And I feel like a lot of the influencers now are more about like just detonating shit. Like they don't even want to make the world a better place. They don't even care about like what happens to the world. They just want to be famous and go viral, and they just want to create some chaos. But you don't even really know what they believe in, right? Like, for example, you know, look no further than that clavicular kid, okay? Because he went on Michael Knowles, and Michael Knowles was asking him for some reason, right? Michael Knowles was asking Clavicular about the 2028 presidential election. And the kid just started talking about Gavin Newsom being better than J.D. Vance. But this same kid voted for Donald Trump. And like, if you vote for Donald Trump, you don't get to vote for Gavin Newsom. If you vote for both those guys, you don't even have an ethos. You're literally just throwing a vote around for no good reason whatsoever, right? If you vote for Donald Trump and then you turn around and vote for Gavin Newsom, you have canceled yourself out. At that point, you don't even have, like, you're not even voting for anything. You're literally just jerking it, right? You're jerking it is what you're doing. Yeah, you're voting based on like which fart you smelled. You like, I smell a fart this way, I'm going to go vote that way, right? No identity. Yeah, absolutely no identity. That's really well put. That's a great way of summing it up. They don't have an identity. They literally just grab whatever fucking creates a stir, okay? Or whatever, you know, whatever they feel in that moment, but there's no through line. because they don't have a set of principles. Their only principles are what's good for me right now, right? What is like, what feels like right, or what do I want to do right now? How can I create a stir right now, right? Dude, it's just, there's no, they don't stand for anything. And guys, that's like, I don't know. I feel like me, guys, if I were a young person right now, I would go crazy. Because, I mean, for me, I really stood for something. Like, as a kid, I always stood for something. I was always like, you know, fighting my father's rules that were oppressive and arbitrary, right? I used to challenge like school, like rules at school or procedures at school that seemed arbitrary and felt like harmful or like suppressed the students, you know, creative and sort of like excitement and shit like that. So I always felt like I was, you know, fighting for like the freedom to exist outside of a confined identity and to be able to express yourself in creative and, you know, connecting and spiritually fulfilling ways, right? And so if I were growing up now and there weren't like really a lot of young people or a lot of like, you know, rock and rollers or whatever that were also espousing those types of things of like, you know, choosing some battles, like actual battles, and then standing up for them, I don't know what I would do. I feel like I would feel very, I don't know, I'd feel very unsatisfied, I think, if I were a young person in this world. Like I would feel like really upset that people, you know, like they say that, you know, there's a saying that like, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention, you know, and some of that is true, right? You're a millennial that is close to Gen X. Let's go, Elf. I mean, you know, if you look at like the world and shit, you look at the world, you look at like the climate changing and the earth heating up and the fact that there's homeless people in ever increasing amounts on the street. And while the homeless people are ever increasing amounts on the street, you look at like Elon Musk, who's trying to be the first trillionaire. And I mean, dude, there's no way you can look at that and not think like, dude, that's fucked up, right? Like if you're not looking at that and going, that's fucked up, you're not paying attention, right? Like there's something wrong. If you have to step over a homeless person to go into your penthouse apartment and you're not putting two and two together that like, you know, living in a penthouse apartment while you're stepping over homeless people to get there is problematic. Like, dude, I don't know. Like, how do you explain that to somebody? You know, like that just seems weird. Or a perfect example is this, dude, is Meta, right? Look at this shit. Right? You saw this, right? It's a great segue. Dude, Meta shutting down their metaverse. $80 billion. Dude, Facebook, okay? Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, they spent $80 billion. Look at this shit, dude. This doesn't even look good, bro. It's like cheap. Look at that shit. Dude, that shit, I have seen better like animation from, you know, like middle school students, okay? They spent $80 billion on the metaverse and they're just pulling the plug on it. Like, bro, they could have like solved homelessness. They could have ended, you know, child hunger. You know what I mean? And look at what they did though. 80 billion just wasted, right? And this is what's crazy, okay? Because guys, can I just tell you, you see this, if you get online and you start arguing about like billionaires, taxing billionaires, invariably somebody in there, in that chat, okay, if you get in the replies, trying to say billionaires should pay taxes, somebody will get in those replies and they will literally, I swear, you're going to know, you're going to recognize this. They will say to you, no, man, if you tax billionaires, they're not going to invest. They're not going to create businesses. They're not going to create new jobs. They're not going to like do all this shit if they pay taxes. It's like, fuck you, bro. Mark Zuckerberg wasted $80 billion on the metaverse. And all of those fucking tech guys spend billions on shit that doesn't take. Okay? They throw money around trying shit that blows up and goes nowhere all the fucking time. Okay? They could easily pay that money in taxes. Okay? That $80 billion from Zuckerberg that he blew on the metaverse could have easily been paid in taxes. They will fucking throw this shit around and blow money all the time, guys. They're not stifled by paying taxes. They just don't want to pay taxes. They don't. They want the control. Okay? That's what it is. That's why wealthy people use charities. Okay? Because the reason why they use charities and don't want to pay taxes is because they want their money to only benefit the people they want the money to benefit. Okay? They put it into a charity that serves the type of people they want to help. Okay? Period. Right? And you're right, too, that a lot of their wealth isn't even real. It's like the system is fake, right? I mean, look at Donald Trump, guys. You ready? I mean, here. Guys, this is fucking, there's no better example than this, okay? You ready? Oh, this is great. It's Trump media, dude. There you go. This is what I'm talking about, okay? Trump media has never made money, okay? It lost $400 million. Truth Social lost $400 million. It's never turned a profit. It's never been worth anything. Truth Social was not. It was a worthless company. Okay. It had Trump's name and Trump's fame, but the company itself, a huge money loss. Okay. But then they did an SPAC where they merged with somebody that then made it a public company so people could buy shares of Trump Media, a worthless company that was worth nothing, and these shares were up to $97. And then Trump sold it all off, and now it lost 90% of its value. It's worth $8. Everybody who bought it lost all their money. And Trump made billions for a company that was worthless, that had made no money, right? And I mean, think about that. How, like, wouldn't you like to create a company that has zero money? You create a company that never makes a dime. You could just call it, I could call it Tommy Harrington fucking, whatever, Posters Inc. And it made no money. I lost $50,000 last year. And next thing you know, I have $1 billion, right? That's what they did with fucking Trump media. And now it's worthless. It's nothing, dude. Right? But that's our system. Okay? A company goes public and you buy it and you buy shares of it, and then, but it's not even real. Okay? Like Trump, there's no real, I mean, he walked away with real money when he sold that shit, but dude, that Truth Social still loses money every year. Right? It's never turned a profit. Not even close, man. And then all those wealthy people, right, they take loans on their stock shares and they get these loans at an insanely low interest rate. And then they can take some of that money, right, and just buy more shit with it that creates a return so they can pay off their loans. And then they're living on free money, dude. They never even spend their money. A lot of them don't even have any money. They're just rich on paper. Dude, it's so crazy. 𝗣𝗢𝗟𝗧 should get a second job if they can't pay comparative taxes, just like the rest of us. Oh, yeah, billionaires. Yes. Let's go, Linz. See, that's my thing, guys. You ready? Because people have said Okay, people have said shit about, well, their wealth is just virtual. But here's my deal, guys. Is if you have, say you have a startup company that is valued at $1 billion, but you don't actually have any money because that thing is valued at $1 billion, but your tax is going to be 20% of that, 200 million. Well, you can take out a loan for 200 million to pay your taxes. I mean, if you can take out a loan for 200 million to start the metaverse, or you can take out a loan for 200 million to start a new company, you can take out a loan for 200 million to pay your fucking taxes. Like, I'm fine with that. And if you don't want to be a billionaire, then don't be a billionaire on paper. Go get a job at fucking Office Depot and shut the fuck up, right? You know, I mean, dude, Musk borrowed billions to buy Twitter, and he had no problem with that. Dude, he paid $290 million to fucking Trump's campaign simply to make a few investigations go away, right? But I mean, that's my thing is there's no reason, if you're worth $1 billion on paper, you can take out a $200 million loan and then, you know, pay that loan, do that for your taxes. You know what I'm saying? That, and yeah, dude, there is a, Musk is, you know, I don't know if you guys saw this, but talking about Elon Musk, look at this shit, guys. Right there, dude. Jury says Musk defrauded Twitter investors before the 2022 buyout. Okay, this is crazy, guys. I don't know if you saw this, but you may have seen some people were tweeting about this. Like, for example, let me find one of the tweets right here. Look at this. Oh my God, Nick Shirley. Huge fraud for you to report on. Oh, dude, let's go. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? But again, you know, that's funny. Nick Shirley's not going to be reporting on that fraud, though. Okay. But yeah, Elon now was saying, oh, he's going to pay for the TSA salaries. Elon Musk will, right? Even though that's illegal, you can't have private citizens paying for government shit. But he wants to pay for the TSA salaries because he wants to win some political points. He wants to try and influence the election. And he has no problem spending money when it's going to benefit him. And he has no problem like saying, oh, I'll do something that's going to break the law just to try and score a little political points. But guys, when you have people like, if you have a person that can afford to give your presidential candidate $290 million, you have a problem. Okay. Like, we can't have a fair and equitable society when somebody can buy the presidency. Okay. You can't. There is no democracy when somebody is able to buy a president or able to primary the entire Congress. If you have enough money to primary the entire Congress, like, we need to take all your money away. That's not okay. There's no human being who should have enough money that he can primary your entire Congress. That's way too much power for one person to have, dude. It's just way too much. Not okay, boss. You know? But yeah, that's the big fucking, the Musk fraud. Okay? Right? He defrauded Twitter investors during the buyout. So it says a jury finds Elon Musk liable for misleading investors during Twitter purchase. All right, a jury found him liable for misleading by deliberately driving down Twitter's stock price in the tumultuous months leading up to his acquisition for $44 billion. But it absolved him of some fraud allegations, finding that he did not scheme to mislead investors. The civil trial in San Francisco centered on a class action lawsuit filed just before he took control, which he later renamed, right? Jurors were asked to decide if two tweets and comments Musk made on a podcast in May 2022 amounted to him intentionally defrauding Twitter shareholders. Okay, the 9-person jury returned the verdict after 3 days of deliberation. They said that while Musk was liable for misleading investors with 2 tweets, including one that said the Twitter deal was temporarily on hold, he did not do so with the statement he made on a podcast, and that he did not intentionally scheme to defraud them. Okay, and of course, I don't think he's responded to their requests, right? So we don't know what the damages are, but it is likely in the billions. The jury awarded shareholders about $3 and $8 per stock per day. Musk's fortune is currently estimated at $814 billion. Jesus, dude. Much of it tied up in Tesla shares. That's insane, guys. 800 billion. Dude. Give me a fucking break, bro. He could spend $1 billion a day and for almost 3 years, dude. That is nuts. Dude. All right. So, and much of the trial focused on Musk's claims about the number of bots. Okay, he testified Twitter had a much higher number of fake and spam accounts than the 5% it disclosed in regulatory filings. He used what he called Twitter's misrepresentation of the number of fake accounts as a reason to retreat from the purchase. After he tried to back out, they went to court to force him to honor the original deal, and then he agreed to pay what he originally promised. But yeah, that was what was crazy too, was how he tried to say that Twitter was filled with bots. And now that he owns it, Twitter is absolutely filled with bots. Like, oh my God. And so, I mean, Musk was involved with a lot of shit. If we look in the election, I mean, here are some things that Elon Musk was directly involved in the election. Is one, he single-handedly gave almost $300 million to the Trump campaign. 2, they were lying, okay? They were sending flyers into Jewish neighborhoods that were about, like, you know, Palestinian issues, and sending flyers into Palestinian neighborhoods about Jewish issues, okay? So what they were doing was they were playing, like propaganda-wise, they were propagandizing against Kamala Harris in different neighborhoods, okay? They were sending flyers into Jewish neighborhoods saying how she was going to support Hamas, et cetera, and then sending them into Palestinian neighborhoods, saying how she was like all about Israel. And then $1 million a day. Remember the fake giveaways to a predetermined person where they were like ballot harvesting? Like, oh my God, so much nefarious shit. And for the life of me, I don't know how that was legal. Like, they actually challenged that in court in Pennsylvania and they lost, right? Like, he is allowed to give away $1 million a day, right? For you to sign up for his PAC. Like, bro, what the hell, dude? Yeah, I would love to see him be held accountable, you know? Dude, so crazy. You know, but anyway, though, just so you know, right? Like, Bone Spurs, there's no way to cancel U.S. elections. There's not. I mean, Trump may try to like dispatch ICE or whatever, but there's no mechanism for canceling U.S. elections. There's nothing in the Constitution or in the law that would allow him to cancel it. And you know, I mean, ostensibly, all the red states could cancel their elections, but like, all right, go ahead. That's not going to change anything. Then you don't get to vote. Good. Smell ya, right? But he is going to try some shit, though. Like, I think they're going to do, I don't even know if he's going to do it, like dispatching ICE, but I think they're going to threaten it. Like, I think, guys, looking at Trump's thing, I think they're going to use the playbook of creating chaos to where nobody's going to know what to expect. Like, that's his primary thing, is generating chaos, okay? Is generating, you know, fear and chaos. And like, if he threatens to dispatch ICE, some Hispanic voters may not go to the polls worried about the fact that ICE may show up, right? And you know, he just likes to create the chaos, sow chaos, and try to get people to obey in advance, really, you know? Yeah, but so I don't think he's going to arrest election officials, guys. I think some of this, you know, would be like, some of that, guys, is like, if you do that, right, there's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? Like with Trump disobeying a court order or Trump threatening to send ICE is one thing. But like, if you go and arrest all the election officials or go and arrest the governor of Illinois, that's like armed insurrection time. You know what I mean? Like, there's no turning back after that. Like, I think there are certain moves where, you know, once he crosses a line, then an armed sort of like rebellion becomes legitimate. And I honestly don't think Trump wants to cross that line. I mean, look at him in Iran, right? Look at him in Iran, dude. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing when the shit hits the fan, okay? I don't think Trump could manage, if there was a real armed rebellion against Trump and like missiles were hitting Mar-a-Lago, like, I don't think Trump has the stomach for that, guys. He does not want to go live in an underground bunker. And you know what I mean? He wants to go golfing and he wants to be the center of attention at Mar-a-Lago. Like, dude, Trump is not that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just not that guy. He talks like he's that guy, but he's not that guy, dude. He's like Logan Paul, dude. He's a show-off fucking candy ass who just wants applause. You know what I mean? He just wants applause, dude. He doesn't want to hide in a bunker. He wants to fucking be dancing at tables with a bunch of women with plastic surgery all worshiping him and recording him on his cell phone. He doesn't want to be living in a bunker for a year underground, no golfing, no fucking Twitter, no applause. You know what I mean? Dude, he would be fucking miserable, bro. He would. Right? He would. He would be miserable, dude. Right? Right. Oh, yeah. No, because I say Iran. Dude, yeah. Of course, man. I'm going to fucking pronounce it the way it's like, it's not Iran. Oh, yeah, Iran. Those Iranians. No, it's Iranians. Iran. Fucking, you know, you got to fucking say it. Guys, I had, like, she wasn't really a girlfriend, but, you know, I had a fling with a photographer, an Iranian girl who was like just stunning. You know what I'm saying? So I've, you know, I've been very close to an Iranian girl. You know, it's a really, like, the women of Iran are really like, obviously they're all different. Okay. There's many, you know, I can't generalize the whole thing, but I can just say that a lot of, like, I've met some Iranian women that are like just crazy, like, powerful artistry. I mean, I think people who come from oppression, you know, people who come from oppression come with like a lot of magical fucking superpowers. You know what I'm saying? There is really something about like surviving oppression that like changes you from the inside out, you know? And I've never understood the hate, man. You know, I mean, dude, like really that country just wants to be fucking left alone, man. You know? But dude, Trump though. Dude, Trump is gutless. Hold on, let me go to the bathroom and then we're going to look at Trump. Okay? We're going to look at Trump's nonsense and then dude, yeah, the Iranian woman I knew though, Zara, she was beautiful and she was an incredibly talented photographer, man. Like one of the most talented photographers I've ever known. She was very complex and she took me to the Big Lebowski, right? Which I will forever remember, you know, I will forever love her for that. Like we hooked up at a party and we hung out for a couple of weeks and she took me to the Big Lebowski. I had not even seen a commercial for it, guys, because I didn't have a TV set at the time. So I had not seen a commercial. This was before the internet. And she's like, I'm taking you to a movie. And I'm like, okay. And I went into a theater and I saw the Big Lebowski. And I was like, holy shit, dude. That was insane, bro. To walk into that movie and see that movie having seen not a single trailer or I had not even heard. Like when she told me the title, I was like, that seems like a stupid movie name. But like, oh my God, dude. That was one of the craziest movies I've ever seen with no prep. But yeah, no, she was super special, dude. She was pretty amazing. I don't know. I've like, you know, every Iranian person I've met in my life, I thought was amazing. And so I don't understand this whole war is fucking stupid. You know, it really is, dude. It's like two shitty regimes, you know, and you know what I mean? You got fucking Netanyahu and Trump, two shitty regimes. I mean, I'm not going to defend the Iranian regime. They're terrible too. The government? Oh, for sure. Right? But our fucking government is terrible. Like, you know. But Electro Boom is Iranian. Yeah, I don't know who that is. The topic at hand is impending world war. Yeah, I don't think that's the topic at hand, Sam. I disagree with that. I think like for me that's not the topic, right? Cuz you know, and here's why. Right? Because why would I make that the topic? I don't have any control. I'm not making any of the military decisions. I can't affect any of that. So there is no impending world war. There's a bunch of people that are making decisions. And could it be a world war? Maybe. But is it impending? I don't know. I don't think people want a world war. I think there's actually you're talking about the chat? Nice. I think though, even with the people in the chat, I think there's a heavy incentive for it to not be a world war, you know? And I think, you know, I think that's actually like fortunate is that I think much of the world is like, right? I mean, you see already with Europe and shit, and they're like, we're not getting involved, dude. Right? And good for them. I think it's really important that those, like Trump is trying to bait other people into this thing, and people so far are saying no. And yeah, but as long as everybody else stays out, I think that's fine, right? You know, but I also though I think this. I think in times of crisis, like everybody handles it a little differently, you know? You know what I mean? Like some people in the middle of really serious shit, they just need to laugh. And that's one of the things that I get sometimes is something serious to be going down and I'll be like making jokes. And people are like, oh, it's so serious. But it's like, dude, I can't really be serious. Even if there is a world war happening, I'm going to be making jokes about that shit to a degree. I'm not going to be making jokes about like, you know, school kids dying or shit like that. But I'm also, you know, I use humor to sort of manage things because I don't know, man. I feel like this, and I don't know if you guys, you ready? I don't know if you guys buy into this, but But I kind of believe that we have the power. The only real influence we have, guys, is like sort of like not summoning it. You know what I mean? Like we can't influence the military decisions. We can't influence what Trump's going to do or Stephen Miller's going to do or what Putin or Netanyahu or the new leader of Iran are going to do. But what we can do is we can like not give in to the darkness of like it's over, we're done, everything's spiraling out of control, there's no road back, right? You know what I mean? Like I think if the whole world walked around like on edge, like World War III is imminent, I feel like we could push it over the edge. Like I feel like we have the power to have saner heads prevail by us ourselves staying centered in like hope and faith for something better than killing each other. That like, you know, we actually have the power. Like I can't control any military decisions, but what I can do is I can go out into the world where there's a lot of tension because of the war and because of all that uncertainty. And I can go out there and I can diffuse it instead of like throw gasoline on it. And I think that if we all go out and diffuse that energy, that maybe we can help, you know, stabilize some of that. Because I don't know about you guys where you live, but I notice it. Like people are edgy. You know what I'm saying? Like people, if somebody gets too close to them in the grocery store, you can feel that like people are short. They're using their horn more when they're driving. Like, I don't know. I feel like I see people like almost like closer to getting into fist fights and shit over like really stupid stuff. Cause there's so much uncertainty, you know, there's like, you know, cause we don't know what Trump's going to do. He's dumb as shit. Dude, people lost their marbles during COVID. Yeah, they definitely did, man. We've survived much worse. Yeah, I know, but saying we've survived much worse is that's a little unfair though. You know, cause like some people, this is their experience. Dude, MLV, let's go. Thank you, MLV. Yippee. You know, I mean, I know in the scheme of things, you're right. As a country, we have survived much worse, or as a humanity has survived shit with you know, the fucking, you know, like surviving slavery and surviving, you know, like Vietnam and surviving the Crusades and surviving the bubonic plague and all that. But I think like, you know, some people like, I don't know, especially people that are sensitive to energy, there are some people that are empathic that are really hurt by, you know, this, what's going on in the Middle East, or they were really hurt when Gaza was being pummeled. Like they could just feel it. It was like weighing on them. And, you know, for young people who saw like the Gaza images on Facebook and Instagram when they were like 12 years old, I think those young people are like never going to forget that is like burned into their brain as much as like slavery was, you know, because they can't relate to enslavement because they've never been enslaved. They never witnessed it. But watching Gaza get leveled like that, and the videos of kids and people being pulled out of the rubble, kids who are 12, 13, watching that when they're forming like they're like what they believe in, and they're seeing Netanyahu do that overreaction. They're like, fuck, bro. Those kids are never going to forget that. They're like, wow. You know, they are like, I mean, my son is one of them. Him and his girlfriend, they're, you know, they consider themselves to be like communists. Really, they're as anti-capitalist as can be. You know what I mean? They just don't want to have any part in a world that would do that. And I mean, can you blame them? Like, who wants to participate in a world where that's what you do? You know, somebody said it looked like the moon. It does. It really does look like the moon, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, and you're right. We're not even seeing the bad shit. Dude, FTT dance. All right, there you go. Dude, yeah, no, COVID. I'm telling you too, man, the beginning of COVID was crazy. Okay, remember, guys? Remember the beginning of COVID? Like before we knew what it was? Right? Before we knew it was even COVID or how to treat it or that a vaccine was coming? When like people would get sick, they would go to the hospital and you just never see them again. Right? Somebody would get sick, they would go to the hospital, and a week later they were dead. You didn't even get to say goodbye. There were like bodies being thrown into open graves and shit. Oh my God. And people were like, what the fuck is happening, dude? And nobody knew, right? People just started getting this crazy respiratory sickness, and it got so bad they couldn't breathe, and then they were gone. They were sequestered and they were dead. And we had no idea what was going on. Dude, that shit was so scary. Okay? That shit was so fucking scary, man. And then to think at the end of it, we have a significant portion of the American population that now believes it wasn't even a thing. It's like that pisses me off, guys. Okay? All these right-wingers that are now trying to retroactively being like, this thing was never scary. It was the flu. It was like, it was not the fucking flu, man. It was deadly, okay? Because the problem was only like, and you're right, it is still a thing. Sure, maybe only 1 or 2% of the people get it, but its transmission rate was crazy, okay? You know, it's like, it's a numbers thing, okay? If, you know what I mean? If 50% of the people die of something that only 1,000 people get, that's only 500 deaths, right? But when 2% of the people die in something that 700 million people get, that's a lot of fucking dead people. You know, it is the transmission rate. It's like YouTube, okay? You can have a 20% click-through rate, but if that gets 5,000 impressions, okay, you only got 1,000 views, right? But when you get 2 million impressions and you have a 3% click-through rate, that's when your video gets a ton of fucking views, right? It's all about the transmission rate, not about the rate of death, you know? And that's what made COVID so crazy, is that the transmission, it just went everywhere, you know? Dude, yeah, no, I know. The isolation, I mean, guys, let me just tell you, like, I don't know how people did it who were alone with no family, no friends, alone in an apartment. The isolation, I mean, it is when we kind of went haywire down the red pill. I mean, guys, for me, I was streaming and building an online gaming community. During COVID, I like my life was so good during COVID, because I was like building this community and playing video games every day and like, you know, making a ton of money. But like a lot of people were not having that experience. They were alone. They were isolated. They were in their apartments all the time. So brutal. Right? A lot of people, I think, yeah, got mentally destroyed. Dude, for me, it was like I was having the time of my fucking life. Dude, I almost felt bad, dude. The whole world is like suffering, and I was like getting out of debt and like getting famous, and I was literally just having the time of my life during that. I was like on an opposite fucking program of like most of the world. And then I came out and I was like, holy shit, a lot of people were wrecked. It was scary though in the beginning. In the beginning, like once we figured out what it was, and there was a vaccine and shit, it got less scary. But yeah, no, I know. 1.2 million people. That's a lot of people, guys. That's crazy. But all right, let me go to the bathroom. Then we're going to burn through some news. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad we made it. But retroactively, like looking at the right wingers, I know, dude, the people who have long COVID are like so like fucked up, but like it is still around, dude. Peter is still awake watching P-Punk. Let's go. Dude, thank you, Lens. Thank you, Peter Stats. But guys, I personally, when I look at MAGA and the right wingers, the rewriting of history due to COVID, it fucking makes me mad, guys. It really does. I get mad at the way they treat it, the way they act like it was like no big deal, like it didn't even exist, like it was all made up. It's like, bro, I know so many people who got long COVID, right? I know so many people that like lost people, and it was so scary in the beginning. And obviously people went down crazy online rabbit holes, all kinds of like negativity got stirred up. I mean, they are in denial. You know, I think, honestly, I thought this was part of the reason why people voted for Trump again. All right, hear me out on this. I know some people like Trump and they like that negativity, but I think some people, it was like a bad breakup. You know, when you date somebody who's terrible and they run you through the ringer and your relationship is so crazy and you hurt the shit out of each other and you break up and you're just raw and you feel awful, and then you go and you find the worst person to date. There's like 1,000 screaming red flags, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going in on that. And you go in and just get terrorized, right? In a horrible rebound relationship where all the pain from the relationship you just left plays out in this brand new thing. Like you're so hurt from the breakup that you get into this toxic fucking quagmire. That's what I feel like some people actually did. That they were so traumatized by COVID that they literally picked, all right, Trump after the, like, I'm going to feel all the trauma I'm like stuffing down. I'm going to feel by voting for Donald Trump. Like he's going to traumatize the world so much that we're going to be able to like process all that grief and pain. Because we're going to go through living hell, dude. Right? I'm going to make the worst possible decision right now. And it's going to allow me to act out all that shit. All right? Oh, fuck, dude. Dude, Florida man. Oh, Jesus. Dude, Trump is doing that Hormuz stuff now, though. Oh, it's going to open. It'll open on its own. As soon as it gets warm out, it's going to open. Dude, I didn't get COVID until, like, I didn't get it at all until, dude, like, I don't know, it was like last year or something, right? Is when I got it. I got it, or it was either the election year, 2024 or 2025 is when I got it. And Bryce got it. He got it from his girlfriend the first time around, and we took care of him, and we didn't get it. And then I went to this phase thing in LA where everybody at my breakfast table got it, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all in the phase thing, even though everyone I shared space with got it. And then I finally got it in like 2025, and it was terrible. Dude, it was horrible. It drained the shit out of me. Now, see, here's the thing about COVID that I thought there's even if you take out long COVID, it's like people were like, oh, let COVID just become endemic. And it's like, why would we? Because that shit knocks you out, right? If you have the regular flu or a regular common cold, you can medicate yourself. You can still go to work or you can still get shit done. If you get COVID, you're like out of commission for a week. Your body is so drained, you can do nothing but fucking lay around. And so, like, even if you don't get super sick, it like ruins productivity. Anybody who catches COVID is going to be out for at least a week. You know, so if your restaurant, if you have 10 employees and 5 of them get COVID, you just lost half your staff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's so dumb, bro. Right? It is so crazy, you know? But I got it, and it was not pleasant, right? You know? Dude, long COVID, right? Did you get long COVID, Anna? That sounds terrible. right? I had it, and it was for like a week. It was terrible, dude. And I didn't lose anyone immediately, like any immediate person, but like Jenny's grandfather's girlfriend passed. She was old, but she passed. Fortunately, we didn't lose anyone like in our immediate family, but it's just really unpredictable too. Some people would get it and it wasn't that hard on them. And then some people would get it and it was like really serious. I mean, for me, you know what happened for me, guys, is I got it and it wasn't so bad during the whole thing. Like I had a fever and shit, but mostly I was just knocked out. I had like no energy for like 10 days, like no energy. And I'm like the energy guy. I power through everything and I just couldn't even get up, right? I was like out. It just completely sapped all of my energy. But then I had like a chest thing for like 6 months. For like 6 months, I had after the COVID was gone, I had a chest like breathing thing and fucking respiratory thing that lingered like a cough, a dry cough that lasted for months, dude. It was crazy. It just never went away, man. And then it finally went away. But it was a long time, right? It was a fucking long ass time. Dude, it was crazy. All right. I'm going to put some music on. You still have that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry you guys are going through it, dude. I'm going to go to the bathroom. We're going to do a little more politics. I appreciate tonight's conversation. Okay? We're gonna make it through this. I was vaccinated. I still get the boosters, guys. I got vaccinated. I did the Moderna and I got all the boosters. I got a booster, I don't know, 4 months ago or whatever. I still get the COVID shots and the flu shot and shit. So yeah, I'm still getting those vaccines. Let's go, baby. But it helped me. Like I said, I didn't get it until, 2025. You know what I'm saying? So, and even though I was around it, it was in the house, but I didn't get it.
Wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. You're all I've got. You're all I want. You're all I've got. You're all I want. Back in the day, complications never wore my patience. I was always ready to play, play, play. Why face the day in the sunshine in LA? We hit the beach and rode the waves. I lost my balance, I was faded, faded.
Let's go.
I was trapped.
All right. I had to take a Trump real quick. Now I'm feeling better. Feeling like I got that Trump, the whole Trump family out of me. Oh shit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Right? All right. We're gonna just do a couple things. And so me has had a band. Yeah, I played music to give you the short of it. I will give you a short little thing. I played music for 20 years. All right? Just about 18 years. And I had many bands. And so you hear a number of those bands. There's links to some music on Spotify and Apple Music that is down in the description. And then after that, I started a film and theater career and as an editor and a sound designer. And I tried to have my own TV show. And that career didn't take off. And it led me to gaming, where I became famous playing Fortnite during 2020, 2021. Right. And then now I'm doing politics. So that's been it. I was a musician for a long time. Then theater and film. And then now YouTube. Here you go. But yeah, man, music, it's good shit. Spent a lot of my life doing that. But all right, let's look at some of this Trump shit, because obviously Trump had a day. I thought there were two main issues, right? There were two main issues that I saw with Trump today. Obviously, one of them was the threat to Iran. Okay, dude, thank you, Celestial. I appreciate that. You know, I will say this, for me, I don't really consider myself a musician. I consider myself an artist in whatever I do, whether I'm painting or remodeling the house or, you know, designing the lighting in my internal spaces, right? I live very artfully, which is like thinking about, every possible angle that I connect with things. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like artists, like we never really go through the motions. You know what I'm saying? Like we never go through the motions. You know, everything we do is with an intention and with a, like we're always propelled, and I think about like the experience, right? I'm always crafting the experience, whether it's the visuals or the way it feels or what have you. I feel like living artfully and thinking about, it's like, you know what it is? It's just thinking about all of the things you bring to any given scenario. That's really what I think artistry is art. Artists think about what they're doing and what they're trying to do and what maybe how they might even be getting in the way of what they're trying to do. Like, we're just always being thoughtful about it. You support good artists? Let's go, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you, Kilo. Appreciate you, boss. You know, I think you can do anything artfully, though. I don't think art is just, you know, painting or whatever. Like, you know, like I arrange my spaces artfully. You know, I arrange, you know, I feel like the food I put into my body, you know, when I make a meal, it's like a little work of art. You know, it's everything is done with like intention and caring. You know, I think you just care about the outcome, right? You know, like even if you go to a job, right? Even when I go to a job that I don't like, I hate my job. I hate the fucking business. I hate the industry. But when I am there, I am like bringing myself and my presence and my like whatever, my creativity, my input, my energy, my passion to that endeavor, even if it's something I fucking hate doing. I hate this fucking job. I hate all these people, but I'm going to do it passionately because I'm an artist, you know? And that's, you know, you can always live that way. You can apply that to anything, I think, right? I think you can, you know, and, you know, it's crazy because people think it's just painting, but let me tell you guys, I've seen guys, I worked construction for a year. I worked as a hod carrier, right? Those are the guys that you set the scaffolding and you shovel the mortar for the bricklayers and the block layers. And there are guys, okay, that they call them boots that will like just do it fast and they don't care about their work. And if it's crooked, they'll just hit it with their boot. That's why they call them boots. There's a lot of construction workers that are like that. But like even the bricklayers, they're fucking artists, man. These guys, they set their line and they make sure every fucking row of bricks is perfect, right? They fucking do all the fucking grooves. And when they're done, that brick wall is a fucking work of art. That's what being an artist is. I mean, it's in the trades. It's in everything. It is literally just, do you care about like what you put into it? Do you care about what it looks like, what it feels like, what the experience is for the people that come after you, right? It's like, you know, an artist wants you to be able to take something from it when I'm done using it. That's really what it is. I come in and I do my thing, but then I leave it for somebody else to experience, you know, and I leave it better than I found it. And that, I think, is how you can tell, where some people just come in and they just use shit up with no thought about what comes after them, right? You know, you think we're the last generation with that kind of work ethic? I think it's a little different because, like, what I've noticed now is the younger generations they have that work ethic, but it has to be something they're passionate about. They're not going to take that work ethic to something they don't care about. And because they're sort of detached, I think they don't feel like they have to like support capitalism. Right? They're a little different, right? Then that isn't the same work ethic. I think it is the same work ethic. I think they're just they're not as programmed, right? Because it's not really a work ethic thing that I'm talking about, right? Because I've gone to jobs where I don't do a good job or I cut every corner, you know what I'm saying? And I can be lazy and be an artist, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I think they're, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, I wouldn't work hard for a boss that I didn't like, but I would still, you know, be an artist while engaging in that job, right? I'd bring myself to it. Like, I think I'm talking about something a little different than just a straight work ethic, because, like, if I didn't like my boss, I wouldn't do a good job for him. And in fact, you know, I've had plenty of jobs where I was lazy and cut corners and didn't necessarily do a good job, but like being an artist is more about like bringing myself to the role. Like sometimes being an artist is speaking up, you know, like for instance, when a boss would tell me to look busy and I would fight him, I feel like fighting the boss and fighting the idea of looking busy is being an artist. Whereas, you know, I could simply just avoid the fight and like look busy because that's what I was told to do. And he would appreciate that. But like, I wanted to change the looking busy, right? You know what I mean? I wanted to change the stupid requirement of the job, right? That's kind of how I was looking at it. Not necessarily straight work ethic, but I know what you're saying, right? Like people of our generation will go to a job they don't like and they'll work very hard and maybe get taken advantage from, you know, and like I would never do that. Like, you know, when people, you know, if I worked hard and my work wasn't appreciated, I would like wreak havoc in there. I would. I mean, I was going to be nobody's patsy, right? Oh, shit. The owner-worker relationship is abuse? It can be. It can be. But I think, though, you ready for this? I think sometimes living as an artist means you're rebelling against the structure, okay? Like for example, I like to talk about Jerry's Deli, okay? So I went in and got a job at this family deli, and when I went into that job, guys, nobody could dye their hair, you couldn't wear a nose ring, guys couldn't paint their fingers with fingernail polish. There were all kinds of like stringent sort of like corporate like presentation rules. And when I left Jerry's Deli, you could have your hair any color under the sun. You just had to wear a hat, okay? Men could wear nail polish as long as it wasn't chipped. We did have to take our nose rings out, but girls could have multiple earrings in. And I mean, all of those rules changed though because of me, because I broke the rules recklessly, but I was also a very talented waiter who the customers loved. So I was like an asset. So they didn't want to just fire me and they didn't know what to do with me. And so I was able to negotiate with them for a relaxation of the rules so people could express themselves better in the environment. And that to me is like what I call like living as an artist, going in there and you know, like making it like the place got better when people could be more who they were. Because I mean, California, LA, it's a lot of creative types. There's musicians and actors and artists and, you know, there's people that are into yoga and Pilates and fucking, I mean, there's all kinds of shit there. So like having people be able to express themselves other than just wearing a polo shirt and having your hair pulled in a ponytail was like, the place was better when people could, you know, be a little more themselves, you know? And so that's what I'm talking about. Like, not necessarily like working hard. I mean, I can work hard, but if my boss is an asshole, I would, you know, I would probably try to fuck him up. I would try to sink his battleship in some way, shape, or form. Or I would give him enough rope that he would hang himself and then make sure he got caught while doing it. Right? Oh, shit. You know? But again, though, that's one of the things, though, that's really interesting. Like I've had this discussion. I had it with a friend once because sometimes rule breaking is like, you know, is necessary, right? It depends on if the rule you're breaking is causing harm to a bunch of people, but sometimes you're breaking rules that aren't really causing harm, but that's how you expand the rules, right? You know, it's like if the fence is holding you too close in, you have to break the fence and move the fence out a little further, you know? You know what I mean? Dude, Venice Beach? Oh, dude, Venice is amazing. I almost lived in Venice. I tried to find an apartment in Venice, but I didn't have any luck. Everything I found there was like dingy, right? So I stayed in Hollywood. But I wanted to live in Venice, dude. Venice is pretty neat, right? Then it got like, I don't know, it got a little weird, you know, a little like yuppified, right? Yuppies crushed in around all the people that, like, you know, Venice has had a real hippie sort of like anti-establishment vibe, but then a lot of the, you know, the total fucking yupsters moved in, right? Yeah, outside LA, Central California. Oh my God, dude, the farming community. See, those guys work hard, bro. You know, they do. The like farmers, I'm telling you, dude, farmers. See, those people, or like the people that are like picking vegetables and like corn and shit, those people are working hard. Okay? I've never worked hard. I mean, I can put in long hours, but I work smart, right? I work personality, right? You know, and that's one of the reasons though, guys, that like I'm bummed about fucking the battle against immigrants, because I feel like Americans are assholes. If you're anti-immigrant, like they don't even realize how much of their food ends up on your plate because of immigrants, and then you shit on them and you want to act like they're lesser human beings. Like you're literally eating because of fucking immigrants, you know, in America. If you're eating food in America, your food ended up on your table almost exclusively because of fucking immigrants. And then if you're talking about deporting them all, you're just a dick, okay? You're an ingrateful dick, because that shows that you're not even aware of like what happened to that chicken before it ended up in your fucking grocery store, man. You have no awareness of like the supply chain and how it went from an animal being on a farm to being slaughtered and deboned and packaged and shipped and loaded off, you know, several different trucks and loaded into the back of your fucking grocery store. You have no idea. You just are like, oh, that chicken just like magically appeared. It fell out of the sky and some white guy caught it in a fucking carton in the back of the fucking Safeway. It's like, no, dude, you're an idiot, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why anybody who is anti-immigrant, they don't even understand the like supply chains in America, you know? Like, what the fuck, bro? You can see it. They're just so dumb. You know? They're so disconnected. Dude, it's true. You know? I mean, can't you picture it? Like, MAGA literally thinks there's a bunch of white guys in the back of the Safeway with styrofoam catching fucking chicken and steaks falling out of the sky. I can only assume that's what they think happens, because they have no clue. But guys, you know, this is rather sobering. I think I saved a thing in the bookmarks, right? But look at this, dude. Look at this, right? The farmers. It's funny that we're talking about farms, okay? Nobody's telling you how fucked the farmers are in America, okay? Nobody is telling you. The agriculture secretary confirmed it publicly. 1 in 4 American farmers has no fertilizer. Okay? No fertilizer. None. 25% of the farmers have no fertilizer right now for the spring. That's literally gonna, like, the first day of spring was yesterday, boss. Okay? They have no fertilizer. If there's no fertilizer, there's no crops. If there's no crops, you're gnawing on your fucking hand, bro. Farm bankruptcies were up 46% in 2025. Okay, now why is there no fertilizer okay? It's because of the tariffs, okay? The tariffs fucking shut everything down, dude. The tariffs made it so trade got disrupted, and a lot of this shit is not coming from America, okay? Since 2017, 160,000 farms have closed, okay? Less than half of all farmers are going to turn a profit. Now, here's another problem, guys, okay? So, and believe me, hear me out when I say this. So the Dalai Lama, okay, I know he's a little creepy with his weird whatever kissing and shit and his like licking people or whatever. All right, he's a fucking strange Tibetan backwoods guy. We'll straighten him out. But he said something once where he said that America's a nation of low self-esteem, okay? And that always really resonated with me because we do struggle with self-esteem. And one of the reasons why I mentioned it was about this, about the farmers not turning a profit, is I grew up in Wisconsin. I grew up with farmers, okay? They're like, it's hard to describe. A lot of farmers, there's a mentality. It gets passed along. It's like an honor thing. Their farm has been in their family for generations. It is like a prideful work, okay? They really take pride in they're like artists who put a seed in and then they watch that shit grow and then they thresh it out and they sell it and then they rebuild it. Okay, so they're building, they're growing, they're destroying, and they're rebuilding over and over and over. And it is like a craft, and it is a generational thing, and they're really proud of it. Now, when farmers are like no longer profiting and they're just getting subsidies, they're like, the art is disappearing. And then they're often forced to not be an artful farmer anymore. Now they got to be a capitalist farmer, and they got to like think only about the yield, and they got to think about the most destructive and aggressive way to like do their craft. And then pretty soon they don't even like farming anymore. They're like doing this thing, but they're doing it so like against the nature of the work that they're not feeling good about it. And it's just even filling negativity into our food supply and into the general population where like, you know, the farming, it's like now our food is being brought to us by people that hate their existence. And I think that shit is, you know, can be just as toxic as the chemicals. Okay. And, you know, the fact that like they're going under, okay. You know what I'm saying? And like, look at the farm closure. Okay. So if you look at the farm closure, like look at these Midwest farms, like, oh my God, dude, all of this shit is like getting ravaged, bro. Right? They're getting ravaged in the fucking Midwest. And believe me though, these red glowing areas, that shit is like, it's like we're going to feel it when it's too late to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's the problem. Like, I don't know if you've heard this, if you've heard that expression, like, you know, you don't really notice it until it's gone. And that's going to be the way it is with the farming. And that's going to be the way it is though, guys, also with right. That's going to be the way it is with the climate too, that you're going to be like, oh, the climate's fine. And then one day you're going to walk out and it's going to be like, holy shit, what the fuck happened to the climate? It's going to be like, yo, dumb shit. We've been talking about the climate for 20 years, right? It's just like aging, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't take care of your body's fine. And then all of a sudden everything breaks down at once, man. You know, it's like you do have to be a little sensible about it. Like, I want to see if I can find the climate quote. Because there's a climate, right? Like that you hear about the stories and then you see video of the stories, and then pretty soon you're the one filming the climate disaster, right? Let me see if I can find the quote. All right, you ready? It says here, you ready? Climate change will manifest as a series of disasters viewed through phones with footage that gets closer and closer to where you live until you're the one filming it. Right? And that's what I'm talking about. That first it's like, oh shit, there's a disaster happening all the way across the country. And then there's a disaster happening halfway across the country. And then there's a disaster happening in your state. And then the next thing you know, you're the one filming this shit. That like, it just gets more and more localized, right? And I think that's a crazy, like climate quote, that's really how it happens, right? That, you know, pretty soon you're the one being like, oh shit, dude. But yeah, man, the farms, dude. Right? Dude, Alex, oh shit. That's funny. She's like, good. They got what they voted for. All right. Dude, I love her. She's fun. She is she's feisty. All right. Dude, dude, yeah. I mean, this shit is brutal. But again, though, I mean, that's not wrong. They keep voting poorly, dude. Right? Yeah, glyphosate, right? For cause of Parkinson's. Yeah, dude, I saw somebody talking about that earlier today, too, dude. That shit is crazy. I mean, there's a lot of, like, dude, the chemicals and shit, it's bad, right? Dude, but look at this. Look at Laura Loomer. President Trump says what everyone is thinking is right. We shouldn't feel bad when bad people die, right? Oh, shit. But look at her. When it was Charlie Kirk, she says, the videos of sick people gloating over Charlie's death make me ill, right? Look at that. How normalized the hatred is. Isn't that funny? Dude, let's go. Dude, Toyota Corolla says, yeah, dude, it's insane. I'm here in California, and Southern California is hitting 90 and 100 this week. San Francisco hit the high 80s in March. This is not normal, dude. I'm only 24 and terrified. Dude, yeah, no, I know Toyota Corolla. I know somebody was saying it was like 91 in Austin today, dude. Dude, isn't that crazy? Like, I'm telling you guys, it is, guys, it's here in Oregon too. Our summers, dude, last summer it got like 110 in Portland, bro. That is insane. Okay. When I moved here in 1999, in the summer, it would be like 85. Okay. The summers were idyllic here. 85 would be the max, and that would be like really hot. It was like between 80 and 85, but you had these great summers. But now, dude, it's like 110 in summer. And can I just tell you, like when we redid our house, we put in all new windows, and we got the windows. I have a friend who has a construction company in California. So I got the windows. We have like 27 windows or whatever, big ones, like these kinds of whole wall windows. And so I got the windows from my friend in California. And so the California windows are different. They're rated differently because they have extra like sun protection because of the heat in California. So what's nuts is we have these extra special like temperature resistant windows that totally make a difference here, which is like amazing. Like our house is so much better off. You know, if you have regular like windows bought in Portland, you're cooking in the summers here now, you know what I'm saying? But can I just say though, dude, how are your guys' power? Like, because I'm feeling like pretty wild. I've been talking to people online, and people are saying their power bills, their electric bills are like $300 a month or something. Dude, our electric bill is like $110 a month. And we have a 2-story, 3-bedroom house, right? and our bill is still like $110 a month for our electricity. And that's right. Isn't it? That's crazy. Now, everything we have is like LEDs, like all the lights in the house are LEDs and shit. And we insulated and like redid the house and shit. But ours is like so cheap, right? For a 3-bedroom house. And no, that's our entire fucking house is $110 a month, right? Isn't that crazy? Right? And well, no, we're in the city of Portland, so no, we're not near a data center, right? But yeah, dude, ours is like cheap, dude. It is cheap. Our water is probably about $100 a month. Water's about $100 a month, right? Electricity is like $100, and I think gas is around $100 during the winter, right? Because of the heater, right? Because of our furnace. But we have everything we have is like energy efficient because we gutted the house and remodeled it. So we have a lot of energy efficient shit. You know, you pay $90, but we have no AC. Yeah, we have no AC either. But yeah, dude, I feel like we're pretty lucky. You know, we're not getting gouged, which is crazy. Dude, yeah, fireflies are crazy. Dude, there were so many fireflies when I was a kid. All right, so let's look at Trump. There's two main things I want to look at with Trump, guys. Okay, obviously, the one was Iran. Trump today was leveraging a lot of threats. All right, and here was his thing, dude. You see this? Look at this shit. If Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, dude, he is a clown. Now, guys, I don't want the world to get wrecked, but I hate to say that at this point. I feel like I just want somebody to stand up to Trump. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Iran or Denmark or Colombia or Harvard or AT&T or fucking NBC. I literally just want people to stand up to this fucking piece of shit. Because yes, Donald Trump is a terrorist and Netanyahu is a fucking terrorist. Dude, think about Donald Trump. What has this guy done? He sent 3,000 ICE agents into Minneapolis. There's like hardly any immigrants there. He sent thousands of ICE agents, like literally one ICE agent for like every 3 immigrants, or every 30 immigrants. You know what I'm saying? There was literally one ICE agent for every 30 immigrants in fucking Minneapolis. Like, what are you fucking doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, what a dick. Right? Sending in thousands of ICE agents to shoot people. They murdered people. They cut people's seatbelts and dragged them out of cars. They left cars just sitting in the middle of the road. They caused so much damage and havoc. Right? He's been bankrupting farmers. He tariffed the shit out of everybody. He's ruining our economy. Places like Vegas are suffering because no one wants to visit. He's destroying the global economy. He's threatening everybody's, all of our allies, and now he started a fucking war, and he wants to say, you do what I say or I'm going to obliterate you. It's like, my God, dude, just pine box, please, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm just so tired of this guy. Like, I am so tired of this guy. And now there's like Marines going over there. Like, really? Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, and all of this, dude, with Iran, he tore up the deal. We had a deal with them. There was a treaty in place. There was a nuclear deal. It was not a problem. And this guy tore that shit up 9 years ago, right? 8 years ago, whatever. No, it was 9 years ago. He tore that shit up and he's been wreaking havoc ever since. Now he wants to threaten them. And like, you know, now he's going to attack their power plants. Like, Jesus, man. And all for what? American soldiers are dying so you can pay $6 a gallon for gas. That's why they're dying. Not so you can have $1.50 a gallon gas, so you can pay $6 for a gallon of fucking gas, bro. It's not even, you're not even getting anything good out of the deal. You know what I mean? You're literally getting nothing. You're getting dead people, dead kids, and disrupted supply lines and chaos and, you know, ill will and economic harm for ages, right? And that's his threat, okay? His threat. You know what I'm saying? And what is this person saying?
I think that every single development so far in this conflict has proven President Trump's instincts correct. This missile strike on the Diego Garcia base, that comes very close to the eastern seaboard if it was to come into the opposite direction. So it kind of disproves all of the Democrats who are claiming that what Trump did was not address an imminent threat. I don't know how much more imminent it could be if they were actively developing missiles that could reach a very long distance, even getting close to the United States eventually.
Well, first off, the missiles they fired didn't hit their target, okay? So they weren't accurate, and no, they're not going to hit the U.S., and no, there was no imminent threat because they only fired those missiles after you fucking blew up all their shit. Like, they're so dumb, bro. Dude, they will, like, I swear to you, what is with MAGA? They will suck a D like there is nobody's business, boss. When it comes to the 80-year-old pants shitter, they will suck a D like unreal, bro. Like, what is, I don't get it. I have never seen people willing to eat, they will eat the shit out of Trump's diaper. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, man. I'm sorry, there's no 80-year-old on the planet who I am deferring to. Okay? Like, if grandpa comes and gives me advice about my cell phone, I'm like, grandpa, shut the fuck up, right? Go watch Green Acres or something, dude. No offense. I love you, but get the hell out of here. Don't tell me how to run my life, right? And so, I mean, I don't want an 80-year-old fucking Trumpy. Oh, please, I shit my diaper. Please just take one bite. Oh, come on. Dude, fuck that, bro. No. Right? No. All right? So now, so look at this though. Look at what Iran says, okay? So Iran says, this is from they said, following previous warnings, if Iran's fuel and energy infrastructure is attacked by the enemy, all energy, information technology, and desalination infrastructures belonging to the U.S. and the regime in the region will be targeted. So there you go. So they're like, you know what? If you're going to escalate, we're going to escalate. And like, dude, this to me is like problematic, guys. You know why? Because like the thing I am worried about. So listen to me, guys. I'm not worried necessarily about a world war because I think other countries are like, obviously we're seeing them not get involved. Like Europe says, you know, we're not getting involved with the Strait. Other countries, China made their own deal, right? So people aren't getting involved because they know that Trump is an asshole and nobody wants their people to die for Donald Trump's bullshit, okay? But here's what I do worry about. I don't worry about the world war, but I worry that Donald Trump will continue to escalate and not be able to get himself out, okay? Because in order to extricate, sometimes you have to leave a loser. You have to take the loss, take the L, and you have to just pull out and move on and disengage. But I am worried about Trump being the degenerate gambler who, like, I'm in here so deep, I'm never leaving until I have lost everything. And I'm not worried about a world war, but what I'm worried about is he's going to cause so much damage that we're going to have like an entire generation that's going to suffer from the devastation of the infrastructure, the pollution, you know what I mean? The poisoning of the atmosphere, the wreckage that we cause to the planet through this constant bombing and shit, right? That's, you know, in addition to all the people who die, he's going to wreak havoc on all of our systemic shit and everybody's trust and everybody's like sense of, you know, decorum of even dealing with other human beings, to where he's going to leave so much ick left that, you know how Tehran was covered in fucking, right? Tehran was covered with all the oil from the fucking black rain and shit. Like, we're going to have like an emotional and you know, and like spiritual black rain, a gunk over all of us, in addition to, you know, the stench of death and all of this infrastructure being destroyed. And then he's going to be dead, right? The minute he finishes all that, he's going to fucking like kick the bucket, and we're going to be left to suffer because of his fucking pettiness and inability to fucking step aside. That's what I worry about. You know, that he's going to cause so much damage. Okay. You know what I mean? And I mean, dude, now we have like this idiot, like Bryland Hollyhand. I'm sorry. If your last name is Hollyhand and you have a Gadsden flag behind you when you're talking, and you are clearly some white kid who grew up, a pimple-faced white kid who grew up in some upper middle class household, going to church in a pair of knickers that your mommy laid out on your fucking 4-post bed. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. Get that Gadsden flag out from behind your dumb ass, and don't tell me anything about the war in Iran, because you don't know shit, dude. You don't even know how to keep your face free of pimples. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know how to apply 𝗙cie on your fucking face, bro. Much less you're going to tell me the difference between the Bush war and the Trump war. Like, bro, if you can't have a zit-free face, don't even talk to me about military fucking reality. I mean, call me crazy, but like, I think that's a fair assessment. Okay? When I was 22, I knew how to not have fucking zits raging across my face. Okay? So I didn't know a lot about war, but I knew how to like not look like like I never heard of 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, get a skin wash for the love. Dude, I have minimums, guys. You know, I do. I have like some important things to say. Dude, right? And this kid says Trump hasn't sent in ground troops, but like, dude, ground troops, they're there. Okay? He sent them, you know, like, and you know, George Bush didn't send in the ground troops instantaneously, right? Dude, 48-hour deadline? This shit is so dumb, bro. Oh, dude, crazy.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it.
Dude, remember that? Dude, I love that reporter, bro. What a great question. Like, why are you the only person saying that? I mean, dude, we know the school was hit by us. Dude, oh my God. Dude, I'm like, give me a fucking break, dude. Oh, here's another one. You ready? Right? The United States has blown Iran off the map, and yet their lightweight analyst, David Sanger, says that I haven't met my own goals. Yes, I have, and weeks ahead of schedule. Their leadership is gone. Their Navy and Air Force are dead. They have absolutely no defense, and they want to make a deal. I don't. We are weeks ahead of schedule, just like their incompetent election coverage of me. The failing New York Times always gets it wrong. But, like, dude, like, give me a break. If all of that was true, like, why is the Strait of Hormuz closed? Right? I mean, if their leadership is gone, their Navy and Air Force are dead, and they have no defenses, then what do they have? Do they have a bunch of, like, people with fucking, you know, slingshots in the Strait of Hormuz? Or, right? Like, why is the Strait of Hormuz closed? Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is the Strait of Hormuz closed if everything, you know, they just have a bunch of fishermen out there with cap guns and you know, stopping the oil tankers? Like, I'm not really buying it. And now he's saying he doesn't want to make a deal? Please, dude, what are we talking about? Right? And, dude, of course, Gunther, the fucking dipshit Eagleman. All right. And now this, though, right? So, dude, like, they're buying, they're, like, removing sanctions. And again, though, guys, look at this. Look at this map, okay? None of this is the U.S., okay? Like, their missiles, those missiles are not hitting the U.S., boss, okay? They're not hitting the U.S. Dude, yes, right? We obliterated $25,000 drones with $1.5 million missiles. Absolutely. Dude, look at that shit. That's what's crazy. So something landed out by Diego Garcia, but like, dude, that is fucking, none of that is hitting the U.S., boss. Okay? And they're saying Trump was right all along. No, he wasn't. Okay? He was not right all along. Dude, you know it's about the Epstein files, boss. Right?
And on Iran, do you feel that Trump being compromised as part of the Epstein files is putting our troops at risk abroad? A lot of our adversaries are using the Epstein files as sort of to create the narrative around the war.
Yeah, you know, I think there was a story recently, if I'm not mistaken, about how they believed that the files themselves were compromised by a foreign actor. And anytime you have compromising information that is in the hands of a foreign actor, you have the possibility of manipulation, extortion of public officials. And that is extremely dangerous. And the whole point of having that is to force public officials to make decisions that are not always in the best interest of the United States so that they can kind of escape blackmail. You know, we need to know more about the details of the situation, but ultimately we have seen U.S. service members lose their lives in addition to many innocent Iranians. And
do you think the Epstein...
And we don't know, and there hasn't been justification as to why.
Do you think that the Epstein files could make Trump a target for blackmail then?
We don't know what's been compromised and what hasn't. Pam Bondi needs to release the other 3 million files. We have to remember that Attorney General Bondi is still illegally withholding it. She's in violation of the law, and from what folks have seen in the Epstein files, Trump is absolutely implicated, and that's just from what's been mentioned. That doesn't even include what's been hidden. And so if there's a foreign actor out there that has more access to the Epstein files than the United States Congress, then we do not know who is compromised, the extent to which they are compromised, and the extent to which blackmail could play a role. But I suspect the odds of that could be quite high.
See, the reason why I like that clip, guys, is because there is some behavior that makes it seem like people are compromised. Okay? I mean, I'm not alone in feeling this either. There are members of Congress that it seems like Donald Trump has information about them. Okay? Like some of that here at home. There are some members of Congress that are so up Trump's ass, it feels like Trump has something over them. And then when you go internationally, it feels like Netanyahu has some shit on Trump, that Vladimir Putin has some shit on Trump, right? I mean, dude, both of those guys, it seems like they actually have something on Trump to where Trump is going to just sacrifice everything to not get in their way, Dude, Kilo Charlie, let's go, baby. Thank you, boss. And yeah, man, I feel like Iran maybe has a little something too, dude. Iran feels like, I don't know, dude. It feels like they have some shit. The way they've been saying it, the way they've been talking, the way they've been not, like not at all blinking in the face of this stuff, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I would think eventually they're going to release it, don't you? I think it's a timing thing, right? It's a timing thing, boss. There's all kinds of extortion, right? The honeypot scam, maybe. I mean, one thing I do know that, in all of my investigation, okay, if you look at Epstein's international connections, the shit he did with like Ehud Barak and Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast government and shit like that, and his entanglements with Bill Gates and with, a lot of these academia people and people like, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and shit. He was very surveillance was like a very big part of Epstein's world, both, in the filming and the camera type thing, or just general surveillance of like tracking people, their locations and their whereabouts, knowing like where people were. And even, even hundreds of girls after they left his, left his fold and they aged out or whatever, they moved on for 20 years. He still tracked them all, whether they went to Thailand or Australia or Europe or Asia. He always found them. And, they could live out in the country in the middle of the outback and he knew where they were always. Like he was deep into that shit, and in fact, even internationally, like Julie K. Brown, the Miami Herald woman who wrote all those initial articles, there were things, even the way he would avoid customs and shit. Like if you looked at his air travel, right? When you land in an American airport, even in a private jet, okay, if you have a private jet and you fly from Paris to New Jersey, when you land in New Jersey, there's a customs deal that you have to deal with in New Jersey, right? There's a customs arrangement that you have to have, that even if you're in a private jet, there's paperwork, there's a paper trail, there's manifest, there's a certain amount of inspection that goes on. But if you land in the Virgin Islands, it's super corrupt, and it's not like that. And he was a billionaire that donated money to all the policing entities there. So he used to, what they found is every time he left Portugal, he would fly to the Virgin Islands, and he would land in the Virgin Islands before he would come back to America, right? Which is really weird. Every time he left Portugal, he would fly to the Virgin Islands first, where there was no customs thing to be had. So even there, he had like a system for like avoiding accountability. And so he would fly into St. Thomas and take a helicopter immediately to his island and offload whatever he was offloading, the people, whatever, no manifest, no nothing, right? And then he would, eventually, fly back to America, right? He would always have a stop there, the Virgin Islands. I mean, he was just really, I don't know, man. Like he was both an expert at watching everybody else and making sure that he went unwatched. And so I find it hard to believe that somebody that was so deeply entrenched with surveillance and being off the grid, that like he had kept like aspects of that. He had to be surveilling everyone and as well, you don't, it's like if you have that type of attention to detail of like surveilling people and following them and tracking them for decades, you're filming everybody, right? You're doing that with everyone. It wasn't just the girls. It was also the guys. It was his employees. I'm sure he was monitoring everybody, right? That was like almost like what his business was. How does a punk become so knowledgeable and wise? I don't know, man. I just live. And I have not heard a lot about Zorro, but I have to look into that. I have to look into Zorro because they're not really announcing it, but this is the thing right here, dude. The Pentagon is preparing detailed plans for a possible U.S. ground force deployment. And let me just tell you guys, if we take ground troops into Iran, I think it's going to be messy. Okay? I think Iran, the topography, the like hidden mountain outposts, it is, I think that's not going to be good for us. Okay? Fighting it's the same shit in Afghanistan, guys. We were like outmatched in Afghanistan where we accomplished nothing. We were there for 20 fucking years. And who's running Afghanistan? The same people who were running it 20 years ago, bro. We did nothing there, right? We did nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so, Sam, what I was saying, though, about Epstein is I don't necessarily think Epstein was even monitoring people like a pervert. I think, there may have been elements of that. I think Epstein monitored people so he could control them, okay? Like, for him, it wasn't about, like, ooh, I'm going to film people so I can be all perverted and watch the tapes. No, he monitored people so he could take power over them and get them to do what he wants. That's what I'm talking about with him, right? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, no, with Russia and Afghanistan was the same shit, okay? And look at this too, dude. Pete Hegseth, right? Hegseth said family after family of service members urged the administration to not stop until the job is done. And Trump made that claim. And then father from a service member said, I never said that. Dude, I never fucking said that to these guys. Dude, nobody wants a war, man. Nobody wants a war. I know, dude, Hegseth is a drunk, grapey fucking piece of shit, boss. He is. All right? He is. He is a drunk, grapey piece of shit. All right. Dude, I wanted to look at some of the Logan Paul, Tom Brady stuff, but we'll look at it tomorrow. I'm going to go get some rest, guys. I'm a little tired, and I feel like we've covered like quite a bit of this shit. And, I feel like tomorrow's going to be a big day, right? Tomorrow, when did Trump do his little 48-hour thing? Let's look at this. All right, let's get a bead on Trump and his stupid ass shit. Okay, so this was at 4:44 p.m. Okay? So that means 4 p.m. right? 4 p.m. Monday, 4 p.m. Tuesday is the 48 hours. Yeah, no, I know. That's what I was saying, Rachel, right? I think tomorrow's going to be crazy. And tomorrow, and particularly tomorrow night, like leading into the Tuesday is going to be pretty, or leading into Monday. Dude, I'm getting my hair cut at 2:30 on Monday. So, dude, I may be getting my hair cut. I may be getting my hairs styled right when all this shit is going down. Right? Dude, I can't wait for a new hairstyle. Tomorrow's Sunday. Right? So this was today. Okay? This was today or Saturday. So it's till Monday at 4 p.m. Get my hair did before the apocalypse. Let's go. Dude, I'm ready. I'm ready for a new haircut. For the revolution, dude. I mean, you can't. I'm getting what I like to call the guillotine haircut. That's what I'm getting, guys. I'm getting a haircut that'll look good on a guillotine platform, right? But what's happening tomorrow? So Amy, the reason why I think tomorrow's gonna be big is because tomorrow's gonna be like the 24-hour. It's gonna be like the halfway point, which means they're going to be preparing for, Monday. They're going to be preparing for the deadline. So I feel like tomorrow everyone's going to be on edge because we don't know what's going on. It's going to be one of those long, drawn-out days where, Trump will probably be poking the bear all day long, being a fucking douche. I mean, there was already some strikes going on in Israel tonight. There were more missiles hitting Israel. And my God, I mean, guys, don't get me wrong, because I think it's tragic if missiles are hitting fucking Israel and there was a kid who died in one of the attacks. But like, dude, we dropped Tomahawk missiles on a fucking elementary school. Like, Trump killed like 200 little girls. Like, and so when one child dies, it is tragic, but like, don't act like, oh my God, what they just did. It's like, dude, give me a fucking break, man. Like, we've been killing kids. Like, I don't think Netanyahu gets to ever say to any human being on earth, like, you killed a kid. It's like, fuck you, fucking Benny. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, Benjamin Netanyahu never gets to speak to anyone in the world. Oh, you killed a kid? Fuck you, Benny. Right? He's killed so many, dude. That guy is like, dude, he needs to be in jail, man. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be in jail. All right? Let's go. All right, you ready? You ready for that dance party? Dude, you guys earned this shit. I'm going to get some rest, right? I'm going to get some rest. We helped fund a genocide. Yeah. Well, so Callie, I don't want to burst your bubble on this. Because you're not wrong, Callie, that we did help fund a genocide. But Callie, we are Americans. Every bit of financial, like everything in America, the apartment or the house you live in, the land you live on, the bank account you have, the stocks you own, the property you own in America, that was all provided to you by genocide. Like, our entire country, we only have a country because of fucking genocide. Like, we are the most genocidal fucking like power on the entire planet and have been since our inception, whether it's the actual genocide of the natives and all the shit we took, or the spiritual genocide of the black people that we enslaved and built our fucking economy on, and have never once like made an effort with either of those groups to try and make a serious, amends for what we've done. So yeah, I mean, dude, what we did in Israel was like shitty, but it was a drop in the bucket of like 250 years of American genocidal shittiness, boss. I mean, if we get honest, it's heartbreaking. It's just karmically, you wonder, like, how are we going to pay that shit off? I hope we don't pay it off by, like, missiles raining down upon us and us living in a nuclear wasteland or some shit. But, maybe, like, I don't know. Right? we're just so brutal, dude. All right. All right, you ready? It's dance time, though, baby. You know, where are the Native Americans? I mean, see, in Oregon, we see them. They're all on reservations, and they have casinos, but they're, you know, they don't like having casinos. It's like they have casinos, and there's tribal families that have money and power in the tribe, but most of the tribe is like brokenhearted, and their spirit is broken because casinos are not the type of business that Native people want to own. It like goes against their, like, you know, their spiritual selves. So it's weird that in Oregon, we've given them these money-making things that are also destroying them, right? Like there are families, Native families or whatever, that have taken power and have money, but for the most part, most of the Native population is being destroyed by them owning casinos because it's like, it doesn't jive with their internal belief system. It's really toxic. It's like, you know what I mean? It's so toxic. Like we're so bad, guys. You know what I mean? We are so bad. I mean, I don't want to hate us because I want to love us through it and atone for all that shit and like make us better. But like when I think about the history of American, like the American capitalist class, like we are so bad. Like we have so much bad karma. Dude, like just raging rivers of it, boss. It's so bad. Dude, it is like, you know, it's like 1,000 years of like amends we need to make, dude. You know? Ah. But right now, we're gonna fucking dance. Let's go. Thank you, guys. All right. Dude, thanks again for all the support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being, like with me during all this chaos. And Jenny and I, we're not married. We have been together. It's coming up on 13 years, but we are not married. But she is out that door. She has an office about 6 feet that way, right? But she's probably asleep. We do keep slightly different hours, you know. But I'm just glad to not be going through this alone, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like to not be going through this alone is like really helpful, you know. Made you feel more sane? Let's go. Good. You guys are keeping me sane too, right? And you're keeping me fucking healthy with the dancing. All right, you ready? Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah. Time for a little deja vu. Oh, get those hips moving. Get them going.
But I've known, been here before. I do confident that I will make it out somehow.
Dude, I almost rolled my ankle right there. Oh, shit. I think I'm gonna break an ankle one of these days. That was fun. Blind day, by the stars in my eyes. Woo! All right, gets the heart rate up. Disappear, and I'm open wide, which is most of the time. I've been sinking here, 'cause I can't seem to make up my mind. You say your innocence is all that I require, and that I'm blinded by the stars in my eyes. It's true, I've been dreaming of you. Nothing I take can help me escape the truth. The way... Oh. Sorry, I thought there was another verse there. I haven't played these songs in many years. All right, guys, keep up the good fight. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Let's go. Inconsistent sleep, dude, me too. Evidence is found in my denial, and that I'm blinded by the stars in my eyes. It's true, I've been dreaming of you. Nothing I take can help me escape the truth. The way I behave always gets in the way. Nothing I say can take my reputation away. If you need me, will I need me too? Dude, such a good song. Oh yeah! Dude, I wrote that song for a girl named Carla. I do follow her on Instagram now, though. Dude, I did. I found her on Instagram. She's doing well. All right. What was I gonna say? Thank you, guys. All right. Big love, big peace. Keep it real. Keeping it free in Kansas. All right, let's go, Toto. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, be good and take good care of yourselves. Take care of your head, all right? Big love, guys. See you tomorrow. Good night. Love it.
I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be